Just about to get weekly jobless claims here. Initial jobless claims data, 218,000 expected there. 220 was the consensus forecast. Initial week over week ongoing continuing claims expected here as well, 1.837. There it is, 225,000 for last week versus 220 expected. So a little bit of an uptick once again for the initial jobless claims number. A little bit slow on the rest here, 1.826 million on the continuing claims versus 1.837 expected there on the continuing claims. Jobless claims 4-week average, a little bit downside, 224,250 versus 225,000 expected. Just a heads up, 9:45 and then 10 o'clock, we'll get the manufacturing version of the PMI data. We got the services version earlier in the week. This is the both the S&P and the ISM manufacturing side of things once again. Yeah, there's EVGO, just reading this note on EVGO picking up a government loan facility worth $5 billion. Company has a market cap of 400 million. So that's a lot bigger for math's sake. But yeah, we'll talk about that coming up. We'll talk about this coming up. HKD, remember that name from way back when? AMTD Digital. Crazy, crazy move. Aftermarket yesterday, back higher again this morning. And hey, guess what? They're recalling Cybertrucks.
Oh yeah, 27,000.
Not
too bad.
Not a big number.
Brendo, I just remember the spreads on HKD being like $100 and $200. I'll never forget that. 2022, August 2022, go back and have a look at that weekly chart. Lots to talk about today, guys. Looks like some of these chip manufacturers, foundries specifically, going to get a bit of a save from the Biden administration. They're going to prevent the National Environmental Policy Act, or the agency there, from basically holding back some of the foundry manufacturers. We also have Apple insider selling, China sales coming off a little bit, and Ford reporting, Brendo, not a bad look for them, but they're now number 3 behind GM and Tesla. Yeah,
we touched on that GM number. It was actually better than expected yesterday when that came out. I was just double checking here for AMT Digital, 28.4 million share float. According to Trade Ideas, the short percent is actually quite small, only about 2 or 3% here. But this is what Sharif was talking about here. This is a weekly chart. You got to go all the way back to August of 2022. This actually happened.
Yeah.
$2,556 was the high. We're at $5 here this morning in the pre-market. Hey, Sean's back.
Yeah, look, HKD is it's fun. We had fun with everyone had fun with it when it was going, but the move that it made late in the afternoon yesterday, and then obviously this morning, or I guess overnight and this morning, it just pales in comparison to before. The story today is still going to be, Tesla yesterday, the deliveries, you didn't know what to expect, and they got dropped before the open, and it dropped the stock. You really, the 250 level was pretty much what you needed yesterday on Tesla. And, today, that number's not really doing much for us. I guess we tested 20,000-ish, but we didn't really break through. I feel like Levi's was a bad day for them. I don't see a ton of volume there. So NVIDIA's up 2 points. And it's the only thing that's looking really strong now, and some talk by Jensen about industrial AI. So I feel like you go into that well. Obviously, Tesla in here today, some good news on him. Bad news on him, but good if you're interested in trading it. So that should be interesting. But yeah, you want to stick to the guns. What moved yesterday should move today. And those EV names, whether it's Rivian, whether it's Tesla, they're going to be the front of my mind. The same way we were focusing on Tesla early on. HKD, it's got to do some serious work. It's not even through the after market highs that it had before. So, wake me up if it actually takes out the top. Great if it can. I know a lot of people have fun with this one. I guess it's got a $6 breakout in play. Maybe we'll see if we can cause some locates on it. But yeah, Tesla's going to be the front of the mind after that 250 trade. There was multiple times you could have shorted that 250, whether it was the morning and that was your best, or in the afternoon. So, Tesla's going to be front of the mind. NVIDIA's looking like it's going to hold for now, up 2 points here today. So yeah, those are the top 2 stocks in terms of looking at interesting moves for myself. Sean, it is freezing cold in here, by the way. Just going to throw that out there. Nice. I have this I always keep this ridiculously loud green sweater or hoodie just in case I get too cold. Today I'm like, I gotta throw this thing on. It's a little ridiculous. Like the hands are shivering. I'm like, forget it until I warm up. It's a little loud. It's not a statement that I think the market is necessarily going up.
It's not. It's not a Trader TV Live sweater, but it's nice. I like the green.
I wear that on the weekends at home.
Yeah. So do I. I wear this all the time. I was actually I actually threw this on yesterday. That's why I was in my car. I threw it on again here today. Yeah, no, look, NASDAQ's starting to make a move down here. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening. But we're back to look at these TQQs again. But 20,000 just hit. So we were actually in the midst of writing some levels here. And I'm looking at yesterday's low. I think we can take that out here. So we'll trade it with these futures. We'll trade it. We'll see if we can get going on that. But for right now, yeah, a little bit of a negative move. I mean, that number wasn't, I mean, it was missed, what was it, a couple of thousand jobs? Not even. I'll have to go review that in a second. But as you come back in here, market kept coming in. I do like NVIDIA. I actually like this story about SMR. I mean, we'll get the credit here from Michael Noss because, well, next time he's on, we'll talk to him about it. This uranium call, he was like, Sean, you made a great call there going long at $25 on URA because we had discussed this level. I'm not even long. But that was a great little break there. We talked about how much this ETF is starting to go as well. URA, nice upside move. But SMR, just some talk here with Google looking to get into this space. And, you know, this new scale here has been a good one for many, many traders. And it's broken that $10 mark right into here. Why do I have like 15, like 0.291? What is this? What kind of feature is this? Okay, so anyways, we'll figure this all out. But breaking back over here through $10 right there was a nice little trade for SMR. So that's actually on the sticky note today. So there's a couple notes here that are unique to today. So we'll have to check that out. And then the China trade, I think, has to be looked at as well. Finally, one day, finally making that move back down in here. First day in a while. I haven't seen a K-Web or anything like that been going 30+% in 8 days. Seems a little spicy for me. Oh, and then Bitcoin. Actually, Bitcoin here at 60,000 again. I want to look at Mara. So I actually have a breakout level here on Mara that we're going to be looking at as well today. So Mara on my mind, BTC on my mind. And yeah.
This is a super chat, but you're supposed to read it apparently.
Sean, ask Neil how he's getting a free hoodie.
It's Mr. Westermeyer.
Yeah.
So basically,
you told him.
First of all, that's not how it's going to happen. No, one of our viewers, Mr. Westermeyer, in here, who graciously gifted us this Magic 8-ball.
Yep.
Decided that he wanted to do a little bit of a bet.
Oh, there was a bet.
Yeah,
there was a bet. Wasn't there a football bet or something?
Yeah, it's just a football bet. It's the Bills and well, I mean, obviously, like right now, Casey's undefeated. Like the two best teams in the AFC are KC, Baltimore. Well, KC and the Bills, or maybe Baltimore and the Bills, but whichever one you happen to think. So I think it's going to be KC and the Bills. If the Bills beat them, if they go to the championship, AFC championship, Bills win. Obviously, that's good for me. He wants a hoodie. Yeah, well, he wants a hoodie. I was like, we'll send him like some merch or whatever.
But we can't settle this.
We can't settle it until the AFC championship game. It's if the Chiefs even make it to that game. I'm trying to remember.
Did the Bills not play the Chiefs this year? I guess maybe they do not.
Oh no, they do. You know what? Actually, they might play in the regular season. Are we doing Westermeyer? Are we doing regular season or playoffs? Let me know. Because for some reason I thought it was going to be the playoffs, but you can let me know.
Doesn't sound like we don't even really know about the bet here, do we? So what is the bet? If they play,
I gotta send him some merch. If KC beats the Bills,
why not just do a regular season record or something?
Or obviously I want apple fritters.
That game might not even.
Everybody knows what I win if I win a bet with anybody. I get apple.
I mean, Adam showed up here with a huge full box of apples.
It's always the same thing. One of these days I'll switch it up. Oh, he wants the regular season game. Okay, so it's a November regular season game.
Yeah.
All right,
that's fine. I don't know. You're probably in Kansas City. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, the Bills are going to handle them. Like they don't even have their top wide receiver, man. Like that's like running. Like come on, man. You can't do it. You lost Rice. Oh, did you see this video? Rasheed Rice's mom stealing a package
from some famous singer I've never heard of, Rochelle something.
You get caught on camera, like your son plays in the NFL and makes a lot of money. You just got on camera stealing a box. Wow, whatever. Sometimes I wonder about these things. So let's get back to the markets here because I don't want to ramble on about that utter nonsense and then start talking more trash about Casey. How are you going to be caught on camera stealing a box when you got endless amounts of money? Back to the desk.
All right, Raheem Alani's coming in this morning. He's on his way. We're going to touch a little bit on the mining space once again. Gold still all-time highs. So we'll ask him a few things about the mining space in general. We wanted to touch on this uranium. The guys were mentioning uranium there, the nuclear aspect. If you missed it, it was actually Nikkei that was reporting initially that Google or Sundar Pichai had mentioned that they are actively, as Microsoft said, going back to last week, they are actively researching. I mean, there was no indication as to where, why, when, how they're going to utilize nuclear energy for powering some of these data centers, but Google following Microsoft's lead here with that.
And this is not new for us, especially in this province, because we're expanding to SMR, small modular reactors, in this province, in the north specifically. So the beautiful thing about SMR is that you can scale. So you can start off with 1 or 2, maybe 5 reactors as your project grows, or as the city or town that you're building this out grows, you can add more of these on. So it's specifically with Google, they have a net zero ambition by 2030. They're well behind on that. So how do they catch up? Well, they're investing heavily in solar, thermal, as well as SMRs. Specifically, they're looking at doing a deal with Nucor, and that's what we're looking at here on this chart, SMR. So you can see a nice little uptrend, Brendo, since February, but it's quite a volatile space, as you can kind of see by there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions to be answered, a lot of unknowns, you know, as we saw with the Microsoft headline going back to last week. But, I mean, it's going to get to a point, as we said last week, you know, there's not enough power. And as they continue to build these out and they get bigger and bigger and require more, there just won't be enough. So we'll keep an eye on Google. As I mentioned, Raheem Alani's in the building, and the entire family has joined, guys. Oh, they all left. Oh, amazing. So
I guess we'll keep talking.
We'll hang out. Yeah, that's how much they're paying attention this morning. So there's little ones in the building, and Neil and Sean just check out.
A baby comes in, and it causes all sorts of panic, Brendo.
So yeah, we're going to touch on gold. I don't know if you've looked at a chart of gold lately, but
have a look here.
I mean, a higher time frame, it just continues to go absolutely straight to the upside. So we'll talk a little bit about some small caps in the space. Other metals around that area also moving with gold, as they tend to do. But, I mean, it hasn't been an exciting trade all year, but it just continues to go up. Yeah,
and that's the thing. I mean, we're looking for stores of value, Brendo, because printing currencies is obviously a thing that's been happening a lot lately. But keep your eye on silver. I was looking at a video, I was watching a market video this past weekend where the comparisons were being made with silver and gold. Obviously, they have different values, but they seem to move in tandem. Go back and look at the move in 2008 to 2010 when gold spiked into all-time highs. You didn't get that all-time high in silver, but it definitely mimicked gold in the chart pattern. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But there's all sorts of distractions up there. Ram, we can get some green screen, can't we?
Trust me. It's fine.
It's Raheem. He's good with it.
We'll get Raheem over here, and we'll talk about the mining space and some small caps in a second, guys. Yeah, a little bit of distracted start to the morning.
Well, I mean, come on.
What are we supposed to talk about again? Gold or something?
Oh, man. People that are better dressed than Raheem for 100.
Yeah, you know what? No more kids allowed to come in here looking like this.
I know.
Because, I mean, we're just wearing
I feel like an absolute
Like, normally
bum
I'm wearing a shirt or something like that, and then this kid comes in here.
Oh, my goodness. To the nines? Oh, yeah.
This guy, well, Raheem's here, but no, I think we talked
gold,
about we talked about different asset classes and what can happen here. You know, the breakout in China obviously helps. Bitcoin moving the other way. I think that there's something about that with you know, sort of digital gold heading one way and real gold actually going the other. So 250 right here looks to be, I mean, I think it's coming in down. I'd say that that's a breakout for sure. You're already breaking out, but at the same time, like, here's the flag, here's the pole going upside, right? Boom, boom, let's build it out. I mean, I'm not going to draw it for you. You can see what we're doing. I think if you break that line to the downside, 46, 246, maybe break out higher through that candle, and then a break lower through 240. But I don't want to short gold. So that's the one thing as you continue to go higher. Remember, we do have uncertainty still with the election coming up. That's something. Although we had Brian Shannon on, he talked about how the elections don't really affect the markets at all. So I understand that point. But at the same time, to me, it's more about, like, I mean, we just had those unfortunate events in the Middle East. You
Yeah.
know, where Ukraine and Russia still not settled out yet. Oil making downside move as well. Currencies always seem to be in question on a federal level or on a national level. Different currencies, different countries. I think gold remains a solid play. I mean, whether or not you want to keep buying it at these levels, I don't know, but I definitely wouldn't sell it and I wouldn't short it. So we'll see.
Silver hasn't broken out yet. I think that's like, people always talk about silver being like the manipulated one, but you know, whether it is or not, we'll leave that to other people. But obviously, you look at the weekly chart on SLV, and you can see what's sort of going on here. Like, you're in the upward trend. Like, it's a very clean previous resistance turns into support. You're breaking the high before you get to 30 on this, like 29.5-ish. But you close above that. I think there's another leg potentially coming here for them. Like I said, people will always accuse it of being a heavily manipulated market and all. But you know, when I see a breakout like that, it's always going to be interesting. And when you talk about, like Sean said, the uncertainty, it certainly does look like this is going to happen. Whether it's next week or a couple of weeks from now. You know, last time it was up here, there was a 3-week attempt to break the fresh high after breaking the previous. Pulled back in, got a dip. So, you know, since we got back in here, it's been a couple of weeks. I feel like if you hold next week above there, maybe you make the breakout pretty soon. Looks like that's going to be an October kind of thing. Maybe a Halloween silver breakout. And that EVGO, go, 21%, 22% almost now, right back into the highs. This is respecting VWAP all the way so far this morning. So respect of VWAP. And we were talking about this yesterday with regards to, if you do a mean reversion trade, maybe there will be one on this. If it was respecting VWAP on the way up and then breaks and then is able to give you the mean reversion trade, then you should expect it to get back into VWAP. I liked that rule. We'll see if that ends up coming into play here in EVGO. Strong move so far here today. I don't know if we are ready, but you guys will let me know when we are ready. This one's got to be on watch here for us. So you know what? I meant to double check because I know you guys were talking about the short float. And the short float's like 26. The float is 100 million. This is not the smallest float on EVGO. And it's got a typical weekly chart. But the daily, it's really not that bad. Like, this is not one of those super ugly daily charts in short term here. You actually have an upward trend for the back half of this year so far. So if you look at this one, if we come to the chart for a second. Yeah, if you look at this one from midsummer, like your higher highs, higher lows into a break of the 200. Hey, there's an example of a golden cross and then the stock going higher. There you go. This happens every now and then. And now you are breaking out on the daily. So EVGO does look pretty good if it can hold on to this about $4.80 in here, which is where it's at right now. Now we can get to the desk. Mr. Alani, the second best dressed in his family. Third, maybe.
Probably way lower.
Seventh.
Sure. Yeah, no, Raheem's here. As we mentioned, we're going to touch on a few things surrounding gold. But as you were just saying, from a macro standpoint, higher level, there's a lot of reasons why this is different. And when I say this, I mean this chart is the weekly chart of gold futures. As we were saying, I mean, this week right now is a little bit red, but I mean, we're essentially still at all-time highs here, topped out above $2,700 all-time highs, bit of a pullback.
Yeah.
There's so many things to understand here.
Yeah, there are a lot of macro factors that go into it. And if you just think about where gold is, like, again, a couple months ago we came on saying maybe we'll hit 2,500. And now it's maybe we'll hit 2,900. Where are we going to be in a few months from now? And there's so many factors that affect gold from a macro level. Interest rates, wherever you are, and central bank buying, those are the two things. You've got, on top of all that, geopolitical tensions that cause all these uncertainties. And gold, at the end of the day, that people need to really just consider is gold as a storage of value. So gold against the US dollar, gold against the Swiss franc, whatever currency you want to use. Gold as a storage of value because it doesn't have an inherent use like a copper or a zinc, like we were just talking off camera. Copper, you can fundamentally say over the next 5, 10, 15 years, there will be shortfalls in supply. There will be increases in demand as people build things. So you can, anyone that does economics can go into the supply-demand curves of that. But gold, there is no I need more gold tomorrow. It's simply an inherent storage of value. And so when you have that, And with interest rates for the first time going down when gold is on the uptrend, I was just off camera, we were saying 1970 is when we saw the same sort of uptick in the price of gold on a percentage basis. That same uptick is occurring, but now we're going into a period where interest rates are going to come down, and we've never seen that before. And so if you look at gold as a storage of value, as a currency, where it's going to continue to go, it's going to be super interesting to see. And I mean, Goldman Sachs for the first time came out and said, yeah, gold is going to keep going up.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, it hasn't been a terribly exciting trade all year long, but it's definitely just, heading in one direction. What do you make of this uranium idea with these big tech companies having to shift in that direction?
Again, another interesting conversation. I was out with a uranium company yesterday, and we were just chatting about a few things, and the premise that there will be solar, wind, all of those things are great for the world, and we all want that. But you've got these countries that are trying to attract business, and to attract business, you're going to need different forms of energy to supply these businesses, like data centers, like things that require a lot of energy. And for better or worse, nuclear is going to be one of those sources of energy. And so off camera, just chatting about a small uranium company that's been trying to go for a long, long time. And they got acquired yesterday, and it just came out of the blue. And it's a small deal. But the premise being that they probably have something that somebody nearby saw. Closeology means acquisitions. So uranium could be a place where people are, dipping their toe, come back out, dipping their toe, coming back out. We've seen that over and over and over. But I think this time there may be a little bit more than just the toe. You might get the second toe on.
Yeah, more power required, definitely, as these data centers get built out. Let's talk about a few gold companies here. The interesting aspect of this, and we've touched on this in the past, is that, yes, gold is at all-time highs. A lot of these charts nowhere near yet.
No, and some of them are getting to their 52-week highs for sure, and we are seeing that on a daily basis, weekly basis. We are seeing some of these guys top back up at where they were during the course of the last 52 weeks, not necessarily where they were when gold had these different kinds of runs. And I think part of that is just the run of gold. People are still seeing where that's going to go. That run continues. If that run continues to go up 10, 20, 30%, which is what we're seeing currently, then I think people are just saying, well, if it's still going to tick up, I can still catch a little bit of that wave. So there might still be more room to go in some of these producers.
Right. Barrick Gold, ABX, this is a weekly chart again. So, I mean, definitely not, a negative year for this. It's done nothing but go straight up since the start of the year. But when you zoom out a little bit, off the highs here, definitely.
Yeah, no, again, off the highs, but it is one of those companies, again, it is a stalwart in the gold world. They've also announced that they want to increase their production 30% by the year 2030. So they're just going to continue to put more out. They've announced a deal with in Saudi Arabia, so that's going to be interesting. They are doing more stuff in the world of copper. They've recently settled with the government of Mali on one of their assets over there. They are with Lumwana increasing their copper output as well, because we were just talking about copper is going to be one of those things that people are going to need more of, and supply is going to need to increase to keep up with that demand. We're seeing a lot of that stuff happen. Barrick, strong balance sheet. They did retire $3.5 billion of debt. They had they returned capital to shareholders of about $5 billion, I think it was, and $11 billion has gone into continuing all these life of mine operations.
Okay, Kinross, one of those ones, as you were saying, back to not only 52-week highs, but maybe even multi-year highs here. K is the symbol here on the TSX.
Yeah, it keeps it simple. Again, if you look at that chart, it probably falls very much in line with the price of gold. It is continuing to go. It is one of those companies, again, it's a slightly, in Canadian terms, a larger cap play. But they announced a 3-cent US dividend that they're also going to pay out. They have announced better results at some of their opportunities. Great Bear is one of theirs. So they've got all-in costs of only $800 an ounce. And I say 800 lightheartedly. 800 used to be a high number.
Yeah.
But when you've got gold at 2,700, it's not bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
That'll work.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something maybe on the lower end of the market cap scale, something like a B2, which is BTO, I mean, this is still $4 or $5 kind of range, and definitely has some room to even get back to highs.
Yeah, and B2 Gold has trailed down on the back of the fact that they had an increase in costs at their Goose project. Sorry, the names of these mines sometimes. I can't keep them all on top of my head, but the Goose project. Increase in costs related to shipping, logistics, things of that nature. So an increase in cost of 23% that they've announced. Again, a bigger number when you think about it on a large scale. So with those costs coming in, costs going up, you're going to have a slight downtick in the stock,
Yeah.
but it's going to continue to go. It's going to continue to grow. Same thing with them, like Barrick. They announced an agreement with the government of Mali on one of their assets, so that's all looking good for them.
I want to make sure we. He just ran away, but Raheem brought his son here today. It's his birthday week, so.
Birthday week. Yeah.
And where did he go?
I don't know where he went. He's on the trade desk. I think Sean put him to work. Yeah, I'm just going to get off real soon. So
we want to say happy birthday to Raheem's son. I want to get your thought on, I saw this morning there's an article, Costco is now offering platinum bars and gold bars.
Yeah, so if you have a lot of money when you go to Costco and you really want to get those points, you could buy bars of gold, which was an ounce of gold.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, let's go platinum. Let's meet customer demand. You know, they picked up those little survey boxes. What would you like to see at Costco?
Platinum?
Platinum came in as one of those things.
Who knew?
Yeah.
It's the little man's birthday week. He's 3?
He's 3.
I cannot believe
He was first on when he was 8 days old.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we got him on when he was 8 days old,
Oh, man,
and
we
now
should have pulled that clip.
Now he's 3. Yeah.
Yeah, bring him
we're on
up,
live
bring
TV.
him up.
Come quick.
There he is. Well, you know what? I'm gonna dig up that clip from the first time that he was on.
Say hi to everybody.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Say hi, everybody. And what do we like about? Do we like stocks? We buy stocks. And what color? What color is good?
Yeah, this is Raheem's #1 analyst.
What color is good for stocks? Oh, something on your eye? I'm sorry. What color do we like for stocks? Green.
Green. There
Green
you go.
is good, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Enjoy your week.
See you, everybody.
Good to see you guys.
That's the thing. He's already professional. He got something in his eye, a little distracted over there. Now he's off camera. His eye's completely fine. That's great.
He's playing it up right there for sure.
I love Armand.
We love green. I mean, that's what it's all about. You want to go to that upside. Happy birthday, buddy. Have a good one. Make sure your daddy gets everything that you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
The problem is, I took him into the kitchen there, and he saw all the sweets, the breakfast.
Well, there's some donuts.
He's like, "Get me off camera. I'm gonna get those donuts." You know what I mean?
They got the.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys didn't get to see. He's got Jordans on and everything. This is
to the nines.
This is what dad life is all
To the
about.
nines.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem is when you start them on that young stuff with shoes.
You can never stop.
Like my daughter now only will wear certain shoes. It's like forget about it. It's a problem.
We're Minecraft shoes right now.
Minecraft.
Yeah, which I didn't even know was
That's easy, man.
I didn't even know that was a thing
I didn't
until
of those.
she's like, I want these Minecraft. I'm like, okay.
What is a Minecraft? You're like a Crocs that looks like
No, it's like an actual runner that with like.
Oh.
I don't know who. Actually, I have no idea who makes
but
it.
like Skechers,
No,
like
it's got like
stamped Minecraft.
It might be a Skechers. I have no idea who
Like
made
a
it. It just said
collab.
Miners on
There's
it.
a collab.
It's one of the ones that lights up, I guess. I don't know
No,
why
I
it
got
needs
something
to,
in
but,
my eye. What the heck?
the only thing I was going to say related to that was a lot of great Canadian names in terms of the mining space. There, I know sometimes we'll talk about this in the context of like a Freeport or something like that. But FCX here, they're actually down today. And let me just get that 15-minute out of the way. This was the example. I was trying to remember the best example of the death cross when something broke out, and now I remember what it was. It was Freeport. And there is your death cross, and there is your monster breakout. Still trying to get to the high there. Oh, Randy in the house. I just needed this refill too. Is it really? It's nice of you to say.
It's good because the market. We need to get this market.
I think it's like an ugly green, but that's just me. It's like a chive one that I got years ago when they were a thing.
Randy,
You don't remember that website? The chive, yeah.
Keep calm and.
It was, yeah. I mean, they're still around, but I mean, not really as popular as it was back in the day.
Still shorts, huh? It's getting cold, man.
It was 8 degrees.
I woke up this morning. I was like, I know the window's open, but it's
Crazy. I mean, yeah, but shorts in 8-degree weather.
Yeah, if you're in your car, though, I mean that there is a point to that.
That's not enough. Just being Canadian.
Definitely not California.
We don't live in the Northwest Territories, Randy. It's not like just being Canadian doesn't mean it's freezing cold and we're living in igloos.
Nunavut.
Nunavut.
Come on, man. They changed that a long time ago, I thought, didn't they?
Look, when I was in school, it was okay. You're right. I should get it
like
right.
Yukon, Northwest Territories.
Yeah, it's Nunavut. Yeah, but I was in a high school back.
This is why I'm mayor of Toronto. How's XOM?
XOM.
What do you want to try to brag some more, Randy? 122 and change. Oh, so it finally. I didn't see this yesterday.
It didn't break the.
It didn't bounce at all. What do you mean?
It almost broke the all-time high.
Oh, bounced off here, yeah. But right now, Randy, 124. We're coming into this high. I think we're going to break that high. Yeah, I like oil. I like oil names. You guys know I'm all about the oil patch right
Thanks,
here.
Randy.
Okay, well, it's 9 o'clock. It's about time to go over our watch list. So, yeah, XOM, wow, what a recovery there. Because USO's not doing that.
No,
so,
we were setting up for an all-time high break on XOM that never came. Blame that oil number.
Subscribers, make sure you hit the like. See, Fabian, you didn't even say it this time. Make sure you guys hit the like and the subscribe. And I hope we can put on as good of a show as was yesterday, I'm sure, with Obi sitting here and Tesla moving around. We'll see if we can get another one going in right now. China rotation into biotech. Shakib, tell me some names, man. But you guys, you know that I've been looking at XBI for a while. So don't make me go put the XBI order in right now. All right, let's go back over. It's upgrades and downgrades with Miss A at the big screen.
Very timely entry here for the first entry here on the upgrade side of things. Deutsche Bank upgrading RTX. We know this is a defensive play as we continue to see that turmoil going on right now in the Middle East. So RTX up here with that upgrade. We have American Airlines with the TD Cowen upgrade, though it's trading down in the morning, actually. Waste Management getting upgraded by William Blair, and Wells Fargo upgrading Verona Pharma. Now on the downgrade side of things, ChargePoint down about 2% with this downgrade from Exane BNP Paribas. Evercore ISI downgrading Tractor Supply Company. We have Stellantis here with the downgrade from Barclays. We know this one has had quite a few setbacks this week, including a 20% year-over-year drop in Q3 2024 deliveries. Last but not least, Infosys. They're reporting in the next few weeks, and they're getting a downgrade here from Investec, guys.
Yeah, we found a chart that's, well, I mean, this is the Christmas tree on a weekly. I don't know if I've seen that in a while. Stellantis, yuck. I mean, that's fine. You know, downgrade them when they're already at the bottom. You have to make the adjustment at some point, right? Like, it's all good. Like, you can be down 50-0, and there's like 3 minutes left in the game, but you're like, okay, we're finally going to make the adjustment when the other team is beating our butts. But look, it is what it is. I think this is, you can say things are short till it's not. You're probably, at some point, usually you get bounces in these types of things, and you are now within like a day or two of trading. And Stellantis are getting down to 1150. Now, I will say this. Obviously, Stellantis' primary market is listed in Europe. So if you ever, like if we get down there, you're going to want to be, it's usually ensuring that the European market, like you're trading it around the open and not necessarily at the time that Europe is closing. And there's a little bit of bamboozlement at that time because of closing auction and stuff. I don't think you get to $11.50 today. It's already down 4%. It would have to drop like 10% from here to get to that low. So you're probably looking at that in the next few days. But that's a big support level in theory for Stellantis. And with another gap down, you're starting to get close to finding that theoretical bottom. I'd be looking for a bounce there on the stock, but it's kind of been a short till it's not. Ugly.
Anytime I see American Airlines on there, any sort of an airline, we always talk about how, you got to watch out for different individual events that happen on individual stocks. And I mean, that obviously AA has been upgraded, so that's really nice. But I just think as a sector here, we always look at the Jets ETF. I mean, look at how well this name's done. Just in the last month and a half. This is August 1st or August bottoms. Huge move up. So August $16, $17 up to 21. But then we've run into this resistance again. So, I mean, this looks like that XOM chart. It doesn't look like the chart, but running into levels here from early spring. I just wonder if that's it, right? So, again, nice move up. We've seen oil. We just talked about where oil's gone. So kind of an inverse relationship here as it's a huge input for the travel space. So obviously as oil comes down, you see some of these spots like CCL, this and that coming back up to the upside. And again, on strong consumer, right? But now that the consumer becomes maybe a little more picky here, I mean, you see McDonald's, back into the value side of things. Let's see if people continue to travel. I think you sell any of these upgrades, but AAL is, AAL, right? That's what it was, American Airlines, right there. Still $10, $11, right? Look, come on, charts, let's go. Not at the top, but,
250.
Little different. This is why when we talk about the industry, you want to look sometimes at that ETF. But there's American Airlines right now, trying to hold 1050. Yeah, I mean, this could be actually a decent play. Look, you get this bottom back there in November. Yeah, American Airlines. I've seen worse charts, but you like to hold that 50-period moving average 1050. Will we do it today? We'll see. The market's pulling back quite aggressively.
That 20,000, man.
Down half right now. FABA overnight position. We'll talk about China, I'm sure, over the next couple of segments there.
Yeah.
Fabian made a lot of money on China, you know?
Oh, hello there. All right, let's have a look at the futures, guys. 57.60, the exact same level on the ES December contract that we closed out the day prior. We've been hovering, but we're using that 57.25 level that I talked about, which we consolidated at for quite some time in August. We're using it as support. It's been 3 days now. We've been bouncing off 57.25. So again, if we continue to sell off, look for support at 57.25 to the high side. Let's see if we can break the overnight high, 57.75.
All right, let's get going. Tons to talk about here. If you haven't done so, go down to the description of this video right now. Top link in that description will take you to the sign-up page for the watch list. All you need is an email address, and then you get everything you need to know in one neat and tidy place, sent right to your inbox every single day. Semiconductors, top of the watch list this morning. Nice bounce back yesterday. This is just NVIDIA, but nice bounce back for the entire group yesterday. We're already above that aftermarket high for this one right now this morning. I mean, trying to lead here, 2% so far.
Yeah, definitely leading in semiconductors. Not many other names are green right now in semis, other than a few. Here's what's happening. So Biden signed legislation exempting certain U.S. semiconductor manufacturing facilities from undergoing additional federal environmental reviews. It looks as if, the National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA, really holds back and could cause years of delays, Brendo, and they really want to onshore a lot of these chips, so can't really spare any time.
Yeah, I mean, we're already, I saw 1.2 almost relative volume speaking here, guys. So active once again.
Look, those chip, like any of the chip deals. Oh, here we go. Any of the chip deals. We know that money's coming from the government to onboard, but Nvidia's up 2 points today because Jensen just said some stuff about AI, and he was on a different program just talking about AI, and it wasn't the normal space. He's talking about industrial. Like that's the next step. Like, where is the next point of growth? And I think that got a lot of people excited. And the only excuse, it's not really excuse, the reason why when we were mentioning the 115 support, we do our run every single morning, what are the key levels, blah, blah, blah. And we went over and said, okay, 115 NVIDIA is a buy. There would have been a trade there if not for the fact that in the time you could get the 115 bounce off of the open in yesterday's trade, that was pretty much the moment that you were getting the second opportunity to short 250 on Tesla, which was clearly the thing you wanted to trade. So sometimes that's just all it's about. Like, there was a clean reversal in front of the 115 level. I don't think we're going to get to trade off 115 today, spoiler alert. If we do, a lot of really, really bad things have happened, but you got 122.5 where NVIDIA is setting up for breakout. If there is some kind of a disaster today in chip space, 115 is an obvious level, and I'd look at like the 118, the afternoon support area for NVDA. What's interesting about that chips talk, so yeah, you're talking about more chips money? Oh yeah, well, Intel doesn't care. It's down 0.7%. Feels like it's again heading back into a downward trajectory. So that 23.30 since then, yesterday a lower high at the 23 level. I'll look for something pretty similar. If it tried to fill in the gap to the upside, failed at previous support. So I'm looking at the previous close price here. It's really not the previous close. It's like 22.5. It closed at 22.40, so call it 22.5. If it breaks that, you'll wait for 23, but it's short the pops there. That NVIDIA looks like a breakout, that 122.5, support 18, and support 115. Those are the semis I'll be looking at. And sometimes, if Tesla 250 comes at the same moment, I might go to Tesla again.
Yeah, for sure. Look, we have the same ideas here. So I put on today's sticky note, the number one trade is that 122.5 long. And I just wrote down to make sure that we're as patient as we possibly can be with this trade. So breakout on the CHIPS Act here, and plus what Neil was talking about there with Jensen as well. Let's wait for the right moment to hit this, because like I was actually just looking at this right now and thinking to myself, like maybe that 120, 150 is going to be something, but there's 120, 250. We saw it 2 days ago. And then yesterday wasn't here, but it's had a nice move to the upside, obviously. Let's watch out for 122.50 break. I like it above the 200 period, above the 50. This is just a 20-minute chart. So we're gonna try to go on that there today. This is the interesting level right here. if we hover down, there's only 20 minutes left. We may not, well, and as I say this, now it's going to probably break. But if you don't break and you sort of come down and you test VWAP and you look at 120 and this and that, then I think if we can come back there and try to test that level as well, 120, 150. So if you're a little more excited about NVIDIA than we are, then I think you can grab this 120, 150, but it better not break. Like, you don't want it to break now and then go to 120, 175 and then back in. And then, so it has to be a level. So we'll see if it takes that out 20 minutes until 120, 150. But for me, the go spot is 120, 250 on NVDA.
All right, let's go on to Apple, back downside ever so slightly here this morning, trying to bounce off 225, which was, a pivot, let's call it, the past couple of days. At the lows, yeah, kind of a non-story here when you look at the overall number, but 220,000 shares getting offloaded. Cool 50 million in Tim Cook's pocket. If you scroll down here, there it is. He still owns over 3 million, so pocket change.
Yeah, he's got a lot of shares. Let's put it that way. And he can get some more, Brendo, in 2027 and 2029, depending on the performance of the company. He can vest about 220,000 more shares, depending on the price. We'll have to wait and see. He wasn't only selling. Other executives were selling as well. You have Jeff Williams, Deidre O'Brien, Catherine Adams. It was all under that 10B51 plan filed with the SEC. Nothing we didn't really already know about.
And that's the most important part here, was it had nothing to do with performance or stock performance. It was just a quarterly thing. This was planned. So 0.7% only here, guys, downside, but nice levels to deal with here for Apple.
Tim Seller.
Yeah, it's a more like we always say, like, it's interesting when they buy, it's when they sell. You got to make money. You got to take that profit somewhere.
Just typed in Tim.
Look, whether or not, it doesn't really matter why it happened, but if you're watching, the afternoon show pretty much told you what was going on with Apple. It was just a little bit weird, but what was going on at the 227, it was very strong and trying to break. When the market would go, it's like it's trying to go, and it was just getting held up. And it felt eerily similar to when Amazon was at 200, but it doesn't matter. It's not the same type of event, but this level, I think just above the 227, until it can break 227.5 after observing the afternoon yesterday, it gets up there. It just has to be a fade zone. It was insane. It felt all the world several times that it was going to break it out. And at the end of the day, you ended up having to like flat every trade. The good news is it never really, like, it didn't hurt you if you were going long in there because it wasn't actually breaking down big. But yeah, big supply zone on Apple right around that 227. I think it needs to clear the $0.50, and then maybe you have the all systems go to get back up. But it was weird. You got the big V-shaped recovery. You set up a big break, and then somebody was just offloading shares and holding it at that price. So if they do it again, I think you just have to short up there.
So I'm just, so I looked at Apple. To me, not really, like Neil said, it's not a huge catalyst for me. I'm probably going to pass on Apple, but I want to see if it's relatively strong or weak. Like, I think that's been a big indicator for that. And then we can judge, we saw Apple the other day on that drop. I mean, now I'm on Mara, but Monday or Tuesday on the iPhone warning and that nice move downside. So we'll see if that can continue there. I was looking at Mara, and I wrote this down here on the sticky note because, look, I was just looking at Bitcoin here again. Like, it's held pretty good, man. It's held this 60,000. I feel like if we can hold, this is just a 5-minute chart. So, if we can hold in and around here again, which we're testing right now, then, the next move is higher, right? I mean, we just said this, like, just Monday. I can't even know what day it is. It's Thursday today. Oh, yeah, it's Atlanta Falcons versus Tampa Bay.
Exciting.
I'm playing the guy that has Pitts, and Pitts has had basically 0, 0, 0, zeros.
You know what's going to happen.
So you know what's going to happen today. Like, it always happens on a Thursday. So then I get so peed off about it. All right. So anyways, I just thought that, why am I talking about Thursday Night Football? We're talking about Bitcoin. But okay, just right into here. I think we hold 60,000. And if we do that, I mean, I don't know if we hold it or not. I don't know. Just whatever, it's at that level. I think it's worth looking at, so we'll have it there. But then we have Mara right here trying to, this is 1550, right? Like yesterday we came up to it twice and didn't break it. So we also didn't get going on Bitcoin yesterday either. So let's wait to see if there is some love into here. Down 1.1%. I think it can get worse for Mara before it gets better. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily want to buy any dips, because if this loses, then I'm probably going to be winding up punching out until it finds a base. But if it gets going, I think yesterday's high, we can smash that. So I'm looking at 1550, but that's still, it's a ways away, man. You need 50 cents on 15, but we can get there. Tomorrow can get there.
I have the idea.
Yeah.
Because you were thinking Thursday Night Football, if Mara breaks 15.50 and prints at any point above $16, you got to do the Dirty Bird. I don't know which team you'd be. I have no idea which team you'd be cheering for there between Tampa. Actually, your brother likes Tampa.
My brother likes Tampa.
So I guess maybe you don't want to do that. I have no idea how you celebrate Tampa winning.
I mean, I could do some Dion high stepping and everything like that, you know, to celebrate the birds, the Dirty Birds.
But
Sharif loves Deion Sanders too. I mean, you know, we got to get prime time, baby, over there.
Dirty Bird.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I don't know if Mara's going to go today, but I do like that 15.50. I mean, even here, like on the 20-minute chart. This is with E-Signal. You can see it's a nice little break there. We have supported that level. So just as you zoom back in, this is 15.50. So if we want to get this garbage out of here and potential swing trade long. So we talk about how Mara is, it's not that it's levered to Bitcoin or anything, but there is that 20% short float if that's still what exists. I'll double check that, but that's a play. So we'll watch out for Mara. All right, back over to China now.
China.
Just real quick as well, PayPal with a headline, they completed their first business transaction using stable coins. So that just came out, not moving the stock, but also Uber and a company called Avride announcing autonomous delivery and mobility partnership. Again, not really doing much here, but Uber downside a little bit. To start things off, let's talk some China ADRs. It's been a wild week for most of these, EV specifically. We had that huge gap. Going back to yesterday on this one, Alibaba as well, gapping downside here across the board for this group today.
Yeah, so some of them are like up 30% off the September low. So good look for them. But as you can see here on the watch list, I mean, most of them down mid-single digits right now as we correct. Look, analysts are divided on the effectiveness of the stimulus package by the Chinese government. We saw about 2 trillion yuan, one to get some of these municipalities out of trouble, the other to spur demand. Some people believe it's not enough to address their economic challenges. Others view it, I should say, as the beginning of a bull run, a longer-term bull run. We've heard Morgan Stanley chime in about it. David Tepper obviously was on CNBC last week pounding the desk. So we'll have to see how they do.
Except for this one. Remember, HKD is also a China-listed name.
To eventually. It's what HKD does. Yeah. Maybe not today. Look, you never really know on day one, day two, those types of things. As far as Chinese ADR goes, it's BABA that I'm looking at here. I just feel like you're kind of in the middle. It would have been a little bit easier if you're trading the one like around 112, as you can see. Like the level in here is closer to 113. Support yesterday, resistance for the top. I shouldn't say resistance, but the top for a couple of days in here at about $113. So I think. Looking the short, as long as it's underneath there, it'll set something up, maybe into the pre-market high. But as far as waiting for a support level, it needs to drop to 106 before I'd like it. You know, that's sort of the thing. Like, you might just have to be patient here. Whether it's a pop and fade pre-market highs, I like the short. I don't have an entry. I know I have an exit point, pre-market highs, and then 113. But I need to find something a little bit lower if we're going to trend down to that 106, where I think there can be some support on Alibaba. It's a huge run up on all the Chinese ADRs. When you look at the gap up, this is where it settled down for a couple of days. So I think that's the stop that it should be headed to next on the way back in for BABA.
So I think the problem here is we had Brian on the show and everything, and he just said like he doesn't invest in China stocks because they're China stocks. And I think that there is something about that. If it is hard to trust a market that can be so heavily manipulated. And where we don't really have a good read on anything, right? I mean, at any time, the Chinese government could pull a rabbit out of the hat like they just did. I mean, this is FXI on the weekly. We had a huge bottom there. There's been so many things that you miss. Like, you have to, in order to be in something, you have to be in something. And the thing is like, we had talked about FXI. It's just like that uranium play. It's just like the XPI they were talking about before XPI breaks. Like, you got to get in before it breaks. Or when it does, you can join the party. But then something like this can happen. And I think we've gone parabolic on this name. Like, you're up, like I just said, about that. I think it's 15 or 20% on this one, more on the K-Web. And these are large cap names. And there's a 200 period on the weekly. I'm only pulling up the weekly so we can see, like, there's a lot more room to go right now. It's not that we're anywhere near over going upside. I just think it's a trade that you got to wait for a little bit of a pullback. So the 200 period right here is 32, 32.50, 32.75 in that range. I think if you can get some there, then try to join it. So I would say let it settle down. You're getting close right now. to getting to 32. It's 34 right now. I'm sorry, I still have Mara up. FXI, we still have 10 minutes. Okay, so we're okay. Right here. So FXI, you're getting close to that $32 level. So I think that would be pullback, buy it on a little bit of a pullback to play the breakout, right? This doesn't happen all the time. You are going to get changes. You're going to get hopefully some more inflows coming into this. Buying on dips, I think FXI can work. So I don't know. I don't really trust it either, but we'll wait to see where we go here. So let's pull back a little bit on FXI and get into that 32 area where we can probably buy.
10 minutes to go here. Google coming into decent levels here from yesterday or 2 days ago as well. 164, 165 area back in play. If you missed it, we were discussing in the first half an hour about this story that popped up this morning. It was the Nikkei that reported it initially over in the Asian session, but suggesting that Google, Sundar Pichai even coming out commenting on this, that the company's already begun research and looking into ways that they can utilize nuclear power potentially to power some of these data centers.
Yeah, not surprised there. We heard Microsoft with Constellation Energy, I think last week or the week prior to that. They're really looking, guys, because data centers is taking up a lot of energy. So are electric vehicles. EV demand, as it grows, is going to strain the system. So let's talk about what they're doing. They're increasing their investment in solar and thermal, but specifically here, they're looking at small modular nuclear reactors in this province. We're already implementing them in the north. Google have an ambitious goal of net zero by 2030, and they're far behind, so they got to figure it out. This is one of the ways.
I just saw Eli Lilly pop up in front of me. It was higher initially. We're now downside on LLY. I mean, there wasn't much on this morning. They did come out and say that their weight loss or GLP-1 drug is no longer in quote-unquote shortage in the U.S. I feel like, I mean, it was the beginning of the summer, maybe May or June. We were talking about how they couldn't produce it fast enough. So back downside here anyways for LLY.
Yeah, HIMS is on our watch list for that. I think that's potentially bad. It's like bad news for HIMS. They're down double digits last I checked. But I love the fact that NewScale, which is adjacent to that Google story, small modular reactors, easy to remember that ticker. That's a good for them. Now, obviously, the other thing to look at here, I said, like, obviously you can look at that chart and see where the break might be. This is the daily on it. It's kind of like a second salvo rally here after the initial pullback on all things nuclear and uranium. You're kind of on the way back up. It's got a 25% short float and an only 88 million float. The only thing missing from a break here on SMR is it's only done 500,000 shares worth of volume. So it's a little bit light. I think you want to maybe size according to that. And if the volume comes in, look for places to add on SMR. Like 1310, clear double top. Higher lows into a flat top break here for SMR. I don't think that's a huge Google story, right? So it's not as if I would be expecting Alphabet to be up on something like this, but you have to watch out for 164.5. If we do lose that level, Alphabet has had really good support at 161.50. So that's a bit of a ways away. You were trending up yesterday, and now you're losing the bid. So if you lose this, I think you're headed down to that 161.50 where I catch the bid. The big cap tech name for the bid that I was on yesterday was actually Amazon off of that 184 level, and more importantly, the 183.5. It looks like we might be losing that support. If we get back over, I still like longs above 183.5 on Amazon, but if we lose this, this is another one possibly headed to the downside. So there's your... In theory, it's already broken on Amazon. I want to give it a chance to hold that bid off the open if it can. But SMR, take out the top.
Yeah, it's a 52-week high, $17 on SMR. And we have it. We talked about this at the beginning of the show at 8:30 when we opened it up that we will have SMR on the sticky notes. So there it is. I think that dip around, I mean, we wrote this a while ago, obviously, 1285 could lead to that 1310 break. So go check it out at Trader TV, Sean, and look what happened on SMR. So we wrote that down at, like I said, at 8 o'clock, and we said 1280 should be able to hold. 1285. Well, 1280 was the bottom right there. So I think we're okay on the levels here. Dip buys, fine. Break, fine. I'm going both ways. So if we break 1310, we're going long. If it dips in, we're going long as well. So I think, you know, losing yesterday's bottom would be bad. Not yesterday's bottom, sorry. Yesterday's close would be bad, so 1240. So let's start to put some orders here around VWAP or 1280, where we said if we get some dip buy opportunities, we'll do that. But again, the market... like, it's already up 5%. So the play would be the short float. And I like to get this name. And it's too bad I said that It's too bad that we didn't get it at $10. Oh, there, now my daily chart's fixed. Right there, breaking through $10 because that was a great level too, supporting the 50 period, nice break higher. So there it goes, man. We had that story with Microsoft last week. Looks like NewScale continues to go. The other name you want to look at, of course, Cameco is another big one here. CCJ in the space, and this is up, up, and away goes CCJ. And that's going. And then the biggest miss for me, probably of this year, I would say, would be uranium because, you know, I did like this down here at $25, and we just never took it. And we were talking about it. Then it broke, and I just didn't have the order out, and we don't have it. So I like the ETF. The ETF looks just like all these stocks, except for you're safe because you're not single stock risk. So someone's going to have to power this next wave. Looks like it's going to be some of these names. I think you wait for pullbacks, though, right? The market is very extended. Big move out. Look how far we are away from the 50-period moving average. ETFs don't get that far. So, you know, downside reverts back, downside reverts back, upside could revert a little bit back as well. So we're watching out for SMR. The order's already in to break long. So 1310 or so breaking, we'll take that long SMR. The problem is I don't want to take it too early, but I don't think we'll have a choice.
Quickly here, Levi downside this morning in a pretty big way, 11.5% currently. That's off the lows as well. Comes down to the guidance here was lower end of the range, essentially. Everything else was kind of in line with expectations. Even Beyonce can't help.
No, but keep paying money to her. It makes all the sense in the world. No, seriously, they're looking at actually removing Dockers. They actually want to possibly move it on as a separate entity, sell it, and really focus on their denim. They're looking at focusing on Levi's denim and their activewear called Beyond Yoga. That's what they're trying to do there. Revenues missed estimates. Earnings exceeded as they were able to shore up some costs, but their forecast, as Brendo mentioned, below analyst expectations, blaming slowdown in China.
It's 11.5%, so not a small move, but big levels coming into play on a higher time frame here, guys, for Levi.
Yeah, $18.40 something cents. It's already bounced off it once. It's SSR. It's down. It's short sell restricted if it's down 10% once it's 9:30. So it's entirely possible it's not going to be SSR, but I'm just going to operate on the assumption that it is. If it gets down to 18.40, that's the level. If it can hold again, I'm looking SSR bounce on Levi's. If it's already made that bounce and we're gone, I probably don't trade Levi's today. I know we didn't really talk about Tesla outside of just sort of saying 250 a few times. If you're watching yesterday, then you kind of get it. Like right at the open, there were two chances very, very quickly to short 250. And then in the afternoon, there were, I'd say, three chances maybe to get the same 250 level. We're already breaking lower, down 2% on Tesla. The other place to look at would be the afternoon support, 247. So if we're going to have another fade-off zone, I mean, the 250 is still going to be the place to be. If we can never get there, 247 on any kind of strength, I'd be looking to fade back into that 241 after the deliveries miss on Tesla. Like that was the place to be off the open, as you can see yesterday. I don't see any reason not to look there again.
SMR is going to break right now, so watch out for that breaking through 1310.
Amazon, what the?
I don't want to take this right away. Google, we already looked at that. What, Amazon's falling?
Amazon broke the low. There's no imbalance on Amazon. I see NIO's a sell of 900,000. That's about it on the imbalances. But Amazon already broke 183, so that could be gone. That's about it. Alibaba's a small sell, 300,000. That's about it.
So I actually looking to get involved with the futures almost immediately here if we break. So this little weekly bottom here, I want to short this. So we wrote this one down on our sticky note as well for anybody trading the futures. I'm going to go short if we break this level right here. It's sort of like this gap that we've had for a couple weeks. If we could break below the 60, I wrote down 67.73. I thought that was like basically the bottom. So somewhere into here, I think we can break it down, give us a couple dollars to the downside, and then try to play off VWAP or whatever happens once the 1 minute chart starts to develop for us. So, all right, 1 minute to go. I like the futures breaking lower. NVIDIA could go. We're waiting for that one. NVIDIA's dancing around VWAP right now as well. So that could be a decent break if you really got excited about NVIDIA. 120, 150. We're at 122.50. All right, Sharif at the desk.
We're talking about options today. Sean Joe's on with me today on the How to Trade Midday Show. We're going to be talking about introduction to options. So if you're into that kind of thing, check it out with Joe and I on How to Trade.
Very much, Sharif. With 30 seconds to go in here, a bit of a bounce there on Amazon had broken the low, a little bit of a bounce right before the open. It got all the way down to 182.60, so it's trying to get back above the 183. That 183.5 is that big line in the sand from a couple of days ago. NVIDIA is no longer tracking to break that high just yet, although SMAR is trying to chew through 100,000. The bell brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences, revolutionizing brain health. Adara, ring it.
So I took a small bid on SMR. It just broke before our eyes.
There's more size
there.
at 20.
It's not really, it's a New York stock, so you're going to have to wait a minute for this stock to open up anyway.
Oh, wow, Amazon already?
We're going to wait for that one. Yeah, okay, I just want to let you know, here, sorry, I'm not even on SMR. There's SMR right here. I just took the break, but small shares as it's not even open yet. It's a New York stock. So you said Amazon was going insane?
Amazon, wow. Okay, so Amazon had gotten back above 183. It was tracking toward 183.5. By the time, the open hit, and then my SMR order triggered to the upside for the long, I went over to go see if I can get Amazon back through 183. Amazon's now 182. So maybe just not chase. Okay, I'm not chasing that move to the downside. It's already fallen $1 here. Tesla's headed back up. Nvidia's headed up. Amazon's headed down. The market, the Nasdaq's bouncing. So this it's like an Amazon thing right now. Pretty much the only thing I'm looking at that is dying on my charts is Amazon. Probably something else going to the upside. But as I mentioned, Nvidia. Okay, no, Nvidia was tracking higher. Now it's starting to get into the downside as well. I guess we're gonna have to be a little bit patient. The thing I wanted short just broke the low and is rearing to go.
Yeah, we're, the only thing that I didn't really have anything too short other than the futures if we do break it. And then I wanted to see what Tesla was up to here early as well. So Tesla right now, 245. I was looking at it 250, not to necessarily short Tesla at these levels, but if we did get going, Tesla could be something. It's only 931. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I need to get into something. All right, so we'll wait. The futures are still doing what they're doing, which is not that much. So we're going to have to wait on that one. I don't think SMR, there we go. Now I believe it's now open. I just saw a bunch of volume go through. Yeah, there it is. So it looks like we do get that opening print on SMR, and it falls right into our lap down there at 1228 and change. So let's wait. Oopsies. Let's wait to see now where we're going on SMR. Big spread, so that's okay. We're just going to have to change it. We have never traded this name, so we're good. We have a lot of shares. Let's see where it goes now. SMR, hopefully making that move higher. It's on the sticky note, so obviously we have this play. Let's see what we do with it. So SMR right now on our lap. We'll take a little bit out there. We were lucky enough to get some 7s or 8s there. So let's now see if it pops with the spread. Getting a little spready on SMR.
Yeah, it's a little spready on that one. So Tesla's absolutely flying. That's the other thing that's happening on. And I saw this on Intel that I don't know. It looks like it's real. I saw a wick and a volume down, a 2% move down and right back to the upside. So I'm going to keep eyes on this because it looks a little bit strange. There might have been a huge liquidity grab when I wasn't looking, and I don't know that I want to short into that kind of a liquidity grab, but it is Tesla. Look at Tesla go. Wow. Okay, so about 250. I think you're going to need this one to calm down. Tesla just made this $3 move look like absolutely nothing off of the open here. So I think I'm going to be a little bit patient. 250 was a great level. I needed to get to that price. I'm not going to jump in early just because we wanted to be short this name. That is a wild move there. AMD is going. We're looking for NVIDIA to take out the top. It has not taken that 122.5 on NVIDIA, but AMD is already on the charge to the upside. NVIDIA is about $1 away, 75 cents away. I just realized I didn't have my order for NVIDIA, but I will get it in now. We want that break of $122.5 on NVDA. SMAR is not really going. You know what? My stop's at 75. It's actually going to stop out on SMR. So SMR is going to stop out, it looks like, on that breakout trade. It did fill up there at the 10 level, and now it's trying to hold on to the pre-market lows. Amazon's trying to bounce. I'm going to try to short a pop in Amazon, and 250 incoming on Tesla. What a bounce.
All right, guys, let's just do what we're doing every day here. So we have the number one trade of the day here, 122.50 on NVIDIA. So if that comes in, we're taking that. Tesla right now coming up to 250. We talked about that being a short. we might have missed it, man. Now it's back down to 247. It topped out at 249. So we're sitting there to take it, but we did not get that opportunity to do so. Palantir is at 52-week highs again, 38.20. Wow, Palantir up 1.5% right now. Starting to go, man, 38.10. Let's see where we go on Palantir. I am going to take that break of 38.20. That is this 52-week high right there. Pull back into VWAP would not surprise me. So we're trying to share size accordingly, but I like that chance for the break there on PLTR. So let's sit here and watch it, but great call there in the chat. You guys nailed that one. Palantir just keeps on going. This is, I'm pretty happy about it. Obviously, it is a decent percentage of my portfolio, the holdings, both into a short-term and long-term account. So Palantir right now almost 4x where we initially bought this, obviously down there at $9, and we've been talking about this pretty much all year to the last 3 or 4 years. So good move there. Anyways, who cares about what it's doing? We're doing what does next. 38.18, 38.19 is 52-week highs here on PL. T to the R. So we're going to have to wait for that one to come in now. We're only in SMR. We're still waiting for that to happen. Tesla's coming upside right now.
It's 49.
Yeah, it's 49 right here coming through again. So Tesla at 50. We talked about shorting 50, so we're going to do that. Let's see if it comes through again. Tesla. Days high right now for the market. Let's see if it holds or not. We're still looking at a 20,000 break. On the NASDAQ, right?
Yeah, there's also 20,000 incoming, so you're going to probably see 250 Tesla at the same time as NVIDIA's testing 122 even. NVIDIA's got, I saw a few 100,000 shares. I didn't really get that good of a look at it because I was watching Tesla on the offer. So it was a thick level at the even dollar on NVIDIA, with the 50-cent level higher being a big one. So as Tesla rounds into 250, Amazon's trying to get back into that 183. So if it curls at that 183 level, I'm still looking to be short, but we didn't catch it on the original move. We're trying to get this one on the back end on Amazon. So Amazon is here. I keep Tesla up because of that 250 level. Amazon's right here. Did a lick grab underneath. So I want that confirmation that there's sellers underneath that 183 because we missed that initial short at the open so quickly that it did happen. Looks like it's starting to roll over now on Amazon. I might take my first shot if it does one little push in 83 and then sells off.
We took some more out there at 98s on SMR just to see. I mean, we are very well exposed to this name right now. So we're going to wait. It's the only trade that we're in. So we have a decent amount of shares. We're going to wait to see what winds up happening here on SMR. It looks like you are getting close to that 75 or so breaking spot down there. I mean, 1240 was yesterday. That's pretty low. I don't know how far we want to hold this thing because you've been wrong so far going long. But I'm just taking some pieces out here, hoping that it can work itself out and figure itself out right now with SMR. Just looking for some more names here. Alibaba, Chinese names are always talking about, wow, yeah, huge again. Just keeps proving everybody wrong. Like, I'm like, wow.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Like,
I thought it might be.
I didn't think it'd have this many legs, but apparently it does. And it's holding up higher. So yeah, good call. Look, still down 3%, right? I mean, it is what it is. But if we do dip back in, maybe this 110 that held could be a play, but you're also bouncing off the 200 period. So if you like the short here, this is not a horrible setup. Hitting the 200 period underneath VWAP and now starting to fall down, especially if this market goes, you could watch out for that. But at the same time, market going higher, or trying to anyways, looking at that 20,000, what do you got for us, Adara?
Just be aware here of this WKSP. This one was actually in the watch list as well. It is called WorkSport. This one announcing this morning here, getting some volume off the open after announcing its expansion into the U.S. government market, basically doing some direct sales here to U.S. federal agencies and actually having its government outreach being led by a former ambassador. So WKSP on watch, guys.
All right, so it's one of those days where you're looking at NVIDIA to go because it was a strong one in the pre-market, and it's AMD that is absolutely flying. Congratulations to everyone that picked this horse to back. So if you don't break out 122, you can't get to 122.5 on NVIDIA. AMD, just going to point out, it's at yesterday's top already. There's an area red candle in sight. I feel like this is an obvious one if it dips back in. Like, look at the support in the afternoon. So when it was here yesterday, it supported 161.75 to 162. That's out in front of VWAP. I guess that's where you could possibly join that trend on NVIDIA. Sorry, I can't even not say NVIDIA at this point, on AMD. So that's the strong one. Meanwhile, NVIDIA, we're still, hey, that 122.5 break, it's not breaking 122. You can't break the $0.50 if you don't break the even dollar on NVIDIA. So we're just going to have to be patient with it. NVIDIA is not doing what I want it to. So we're going to have to be patient. Maybe look for the dip buy on AMD if it can bounce off that area, the 162. and that's about it. Amazon, which we do like for that curl. So there's a bit of a topping tail candle. I still think it's a huge lick grab. A little bit of confirmation underneath that 183 that we're looking for. So we're going to jump in here, give it to that local high, and see if we can work the second opportunity at a short on Amazon. Just missed the first one because we were probably looking at, we got SMAR and was looking at NVIDIA and Tesla, but yeah, we might have missed that boat on Amazon already.
Okay, we're just noticing that maybe that market does want to fall off that 20,000. So we're into the future. So the first trade right now, we're shorting the market here. So we'll wait to see what happens. We're short right now. It's at the 200 period on the 1 minute. So we like that. Giving it up until about the 60 or so break. We'll see if it works. We'll have to average into it. So starter position here on the futures. Let's see if it works out for us. Weirder things have worked, weirder things haven't worked on the NASDAQ. So still flat on the day, but we just touched that high, came close enough to it. If we break 20,000, this is an easy trade to get out of. So we'll wait to see if that happens. Just trying to put something on. We're now 10 minutes in. Some of the levels are pretty well defined so far. I mean, you're bouncing around now. You break here, 40s. You can get away from this or about 50s. Or maybe we do retrace back in. So I like the chance in that play happening. All right, so we talked about getting some out here. We started the trade there. We got some at VWAP and at the 50-period moving average. That's where we wanted it. Our average price here is 13 flat on SMR. So let's be careful with it. It's definitely not moving the way I sort of thought it would. So we may have to regroup our thoughts here on SMR. And HKD is ripping.
Yeah, so
futures are tanking here for me.
Yeah, so by the way, SMR... wow, I just typed in SMAR for some reason because I was thinking SMAR. No, it broke that support at 75. I'm out of it. I'll slap the fail on that one over there. Tesla was flying. It just curled. There we go, NASDAQ. It just curled off the 249.5. So while this is pulling back, NVIDIA's about to run the high of the day while this is in the midst of a pullback. Didn't quite get to that 250 level that we liked. I do feel like NVIDIA's trying... NVIDIA just broke the 122. It's now headed for the 122.5 zone. So that, obviously, if that's going to break the high, we're still going to take the trade. It was NVIDIA that lagged and an AMD that went. Now NVIDIA is taking its turn at the wheel. So 122.5 is where I'm setting it. It's got some higher lows in here for a trend. So I think VWAP 121s can be in play as well on any kind of a dip buy. Just in case we don't break the high the first time through, I still think there's a buy the dip. You got higher lows and higher highs as 20,000s incoming. If we break out, we're probably going to get out of that Amazon trade. But NVIDIA on the charge as we speak. And Tesla's probably going to make another run at that 250 at the same time because this market's starting to come back upside.
Yeah, I'm going to probably cancel my Tesla 250 just because we're already in some longs right now. So we have a new position right now. It's Palantir. So let's see, man. We talked about breaking that high. So we're in at 38.25 is where we're at right now. We are into Palantir. Hopefully a big trade alert, but we got to let it happen. So we'll take something out at 25s there, take a quick little snap on that. We were going to play back to VWAP, and it's given us a good little level here, 37.75s or so to be able to get broken out on that one. So this will be a fail, but it's not, we did not really average into this. We talked about having a starter position on the TQQ, so it's definitely did not work out. But as we see, the market is blasting higher right now. So we'll get out of that. We'll watch out for Palantir to go. SMR is not doing anything, but there it is, man. We are now into the sticky note trade of the day. Hopefully it hits it, man. It's NVIDIA. We're now long at 122.50. So there goes NVIDIA. We gotta wait for this name, obviously, but we'll get some out if it pops. Level 121.50 there, maybe for an out, but here goes NVIDIA. We're long. It's an idea that we like, so let's wait to see if it works out. Long Palantir, NVIDIA, and SMR. Wow. We like the longs here. What's up, Adara?
A lot of day two runners today. We talked about HKD moving today after moving after market. We had WHLR and also CLOV absolutely on watch here, about 5.5%. You're trying to push to new day's highs. Yesterday, this one was running. No specific catalyst that I was seeing, though I was seeing apparently an SEC probe was cleared, so that's could be a positive catalyst. Also yesterday, some rumors with regards to it getting a boost in its star rating from Medicare. So again, that one just speculative here, but this one is on watch your CLOV. We do have as well about a 6% short float.
Yeah, thank you very much there, Adara. So while NVIDIA is breaking that high, AMD just made another one at 164. So look, we're in NVIDIA, but AMD now 164. It already broke yesterday's tops. You're getting a lot of strength coming into a couple of chip names. I see people naming ARM going as well. I think you're just dragging the entire group to the upside. So I'm sitting at the half.
Let's go.
We're in at the half, sitting at the quarter, and then the 123. ARM is sitting here at the 140 level, up about $5 from the bottom. So it's a big time move up in these chip names. We picked NVIDIA to grip and rip, and it's now heading higher, joining the party. Tesla didn't really, okay. Tesla, that's not a real move. Tesla really went to 250? Okay, it looks like it went to 250.
Did it tank off that? No, why did I cancel?
That wick doesn't look, okay, maybe it did get there. I didn't think it got to 250, but anyways, let's go to Adara.
10 seconds until we get our first economic numbers of the day. We do have the S&P services and composite PMI prints coming through here. These are going to be the last of these prints for the month of September. So final data coming through here for the S&P composite PMI coming in here 54. So that is going to be a little bit below the forecast of 54.4. We have the S&P services PMI here, also a little bit below expectations here. So 55.2 versus the consensus here and the forecast of 55.4. So both composite and services PMI here for the S&P coming in below estimates. We're going to get some more data, though, here at 10 a.m. ISM services and factory orders among them. S&P 500 not reacting too much to this PMI data, continuing to chop and churn here with a bit of a downtrend, guys.
There, we'll hit NVIDIA. We'll make some money on that one. But, yeah, it does happen. And we you know, as the market was ripping, we were long Palantir, we were long all the same thing that we are now, NVIDIA and all that. And then I was like, I didn't want to get caught being short Tesla if the market did continue to rip up. The market has stopped, so there's that level. And sometimes, you know what, man, it's like, understand the market, but like we put down that level for a reason, and we should have probably taken it because we'd have $1 in our pocket right there if we did, if not more than that. But okay, it doesn't matter. All right, SMR just breaks that level of 40, so we'll get out there. Again, this will be a fail, right? We did have this on our sticky note. We did like it. We don't like it, obviously, as much as NVIDIA, but SMR took a risk there. Just never got going today, right? And so downside play for SMR. Maybe it'll get going at some point. We'll hold on to a little bit in case it does make that move back up right here, because this is yesterday's.
Here comes 250 again.
This is yesterday's closing price. Yeah, NVIDIA is absolutely rocking right now as well.
23 break.
There comes, yeah, let's go, man. This is the big trade alert, man. Big shares, big trade. Let's go, man. It's NVIDIA putting a smile on this guy's face.
Yeah, absolutely. Through 22 half into 23. I don't know how I feel about Tesla the second time through. Yesterday, it set up very, very differently at this level. We shorted it twice at 250 yesterday, but this is a little bit different in terms of the setup. Like, it was a lower with lower highs, lower lows, going back into resistance. This is a bull flag trying to break out the 250. In the afternoon, it did break 250 by pennies and then pull back in. I'm thinking it almost needs to fail break up there. Show me the obvious curl, and then we can get into it. All right, NVIDIA just... Oh, we already took it out at the 23 level. Okay, so I'm sitting at 23.5. That's the next offer. If we can get a dip, forget about VWAP for now. If we break out the top on the NASDAQ, I think you're going to want places to add to this one. So the 122.5 breakout is going to be in play. That 120 can also, or 122 looks pretty good as well. Just checking back on AMD because it was leading the charge to the upside, and it's starting to give a little bit of a dip. So AMD could put in its first red candle of the day. If it does, might drag us down for a consolidation to try and grab some more long on a dip buy on NVIDIA. Oh yeah, Levi's SSR bounce. Well, if you're really quick to the draw, congratulations on Levi's. It did move right off the open. Like, there's your little bit of a dip at 9:30, and it ran almost to $20 right back in. That's the kind of trade, like, you hit it and then you quit it. Levi's right back to down 10% after a quick move up. $1.50.
All right, we said be as patient as we could be with NVIDIA on this break. We talked about taking the 121.50. We could have had that, but we have this. So right now, we'll take out some more, man. We're taking more out here at 123. It's doing what we thought it would do. Nice move up. We could continue to be in this. I mean, the futures aren't even going yet, and we're long and 60 cents now in the money on an upsized amount of shares. So we'll go yeehaw for that one. The other name that's not really moving right now is going to be Palantir. We have some good outs, though. I mean, it did break a little bit higher. You know, we don't need to be... You know, what's up to my wife, by the way? How are you doing? This is our anniversary of our very first date ever, by the way,
nice.
October the 3rd. Don't ask me how many years ago that was because I don't actually remember. But I do love you and thank you so much. I told her it was a great decision. The second best decision. First best decision here, having Trader TV Live. Second best one, marrying. I'm trying to show people, who's boss around here. You know what I mean? Okay, so here we go. 123.22. Look, we keep it real with trading. No, I'm just joking. No, that's not keeping it. That's not keeping it real at all. No, but when you do it right, when you do it right, that's it. We did it right and we're there. So, all right, 122.50. Watch out right here. We just should have taken some out there a little bit north of that. We're trying to let this thing ride. But again, good shares, huge pump up. Let's get going here with NVIDIA. So that's a good one. SMR drops pretty good, man, down through $12 right now as SMR continues to go lower. This name an absolute
what the heck
shit show there today.
Yeah,
so watch out for SMR.
Speaking of
there
just
it goes.
On the other side of that, there was the Google SMR news. Alphabet with the market at 20,000 at the highs. Alphabet's riding the lows of the day. Just want to point that out. There's some relative weakness here in Alphabet. So that story, it was more of a story for SMR, I think, in the first place. But you're doing nothing with this move to the upside on Alphabet. And I know we've been talking about a few names because you got to focus on what you want to trade. Apple gliding toward that resistance at 227 from the afternoon. It gets there. I know the market's strong, but the selling that was on this stock at 227, I'm still looking short. After what we observed yesterday, got to respect that. I did try to get out on, I probably should have thrown it on the south side of 123.25 on NVIDIA. I tried to get some out there, but I was above the quarter and trying to cover some in the high 30s. Did not get filled up there. You're starting to get a little bit of a curl. AMD holding the highs. Getting a bit of a curl here on NVIDIA at that 123 level. Only thing that I'm in, because SMR was a no-fly zone.
Armand.
And Tesla is only going downside. We've just lost VWAP here. That might have been our shot at the 250 level.
Hi, Armand. He's back.
Guess who's back? We want fist bump. Can we get a fist bump?
What color is good with the markets? He said, why are there so many reds today, boys?
Oh, no, there's a bigger
this.
reds.
There's reds today.
Look at this, Raheem.
No. Let's go
You
Ravens.
throw this on the ground.
Let's
Throw
go
it on the
Ravens.
ground.
Let's go Ravens.
No. Let's not do that.
Let's go Ravens.
on the ground.
No, he said, what's happening on the market
Yeah,
today?
the
He said, how
market's-
come so many rojos today?
Yeah, it's okay. We're almost flat, Armand. Don't worry. Look, some
The market's
greens
doing
here.
okay.
We've got some greens. Yeah, look, see, going up.
coming
So
back. It's coming back.
so far so good.
Okay.
Don't worry. Your dad has a lot of NVIDIA shares. You don't have to worry about that. Okay.
That's the
here we
only
go.
thing you need.
And some gold. Everything. See, he's laughing. Now he knows what's good. All right, Armand, thank you so much. Happy birthday, and continue
Happy birthday,
growing
buddy.
up. So super cute, and what a kid. He's already got the face for TV, so that's great. Okay, that's something that I'm lacking.
Runs
for
in the
sure.
family.
There it goes. Let's go. Diamond hands right now, man. We're here. The Trader is here today. Palantir is here. NVIDIA is here. Let's wait to see where that goes. Did we get some out on NVIDIA? No, we did not. Up there, 123 and change. Let's take another piece out right now. Why not? Greed. It can be good, and we're trying to be a little greedy. There goes Palantir as well. We're taking some more upside calls. If we can get something here, 38.40 as we go, we'll take out some more. We're in SMR. We're in Palantir. We're in NVIDIA. We're all long. We talked about this break. This is a 52-week high break on Palantir. So I like that trade. My biggest trade on Palantir, not ever, but was its last time it broke 33 and change, which was its past 52-week high. So there it goes right now, Palantir. Look at Mara and Bitcoin. We'll look at Mara in a minute, but Bitcoin right now down to that $60,000 mark. Here we go. Oh, baby. There it is, man. Your number one trade today. Neil's got it. I've got it. It's big time share size. NVIDIA, we just get filled there at 33s or something. Nice upside play there for. And 39s, I don't know what we got. I'll have to double check that. Nice move up.
Yeah, huge move up.
29s.
Another bounce as well on AMD. The whole space is absolutely flying. But you know what? It is just these guys going up. Like the Nasdaq's only trying to take the 20,000 now. It's going to double. I mean, Apple's obviously going. Tesla, it is what it is. Yesterday, you know the 250 level was the spot. I see the wick up there. I was on the north side of 80s. I checked back. I was sitting at 88. So I tend to put that number in there in front of 250. So I wouldn't have been filled anyways. You know, it just didn't matter. I wasn't going to get that fill. Tesla's relatively weak. I think it's trying to make another challenge up to that 250 level. If it does, it might take a breakout. We might get the chance to short it. I don't know if we're going to get that shot one more time. Alibaba, I was like, let's wait for the dip on Alibaba at 106. No, Alibaba is now trying to get to 113. That was the resistance zone that we thought could be a fade zone on Alibaba. So it's getting pretty close into that level. Just in NVIDIA, AMD should be a join, but it is what it is. That clove is Clover and HKD that a lot of people are asking us about here. So Clover was the runner yesterday that just never stopped running. It's going again. If it does the same thing that it did yesterday, I think this is the kind of, if you want to join it, you just have to. It never made any stop or any reverse. It was just a very clean upward move on Clover. It's going again. I think it's a join. If it gets to VWAP, that's an easy one. But yesterday it was allergic to VWAP. You had to buy the dip wherever the heck you could because it just kept going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. I tried to revert it once and was like, this thing is not even giving you a reason to. There wasn't a red candle on the 15-minute until the last 15 minutes of the day on Clover. And there isn't one again today.
Palantir right now, guys, is an absolute banger. You're at 50 now on Palantir. We took this trade. We took this with confidence. We took this with many shares. And there goes Palantir. I found that sound like Donald Trump. Many shares right there on Palantir. And there it goes, man. Wow. Oh, man. I mean, I love taking time off, but I really love being here. All right, Adara, what's up?
Great day for Supermicrocomputer here. This is only its third day trading after that 10-for-1 split. We know this one has been undergoing some issues with regards to that short report and some DOJ concerns. Right now, though, Supermicro here, SMCI, at high of days, more or less, up about 3.5% here. Announcing this partnership with Fujitsu to work on an AI-powered server. So SMCI making new all-time highs, right? Or no, not sorry, new all-time highs, but new daily highs here. New high of day right in front of our eyes here for SMCI, guys.
If you're in the chip space, you are running to the upside. There is absolutely no question about it. So SMCI joining the party. There was also Lamb did their split today. So anyone interested in trading Lamb, you can now do so after the 10-1 split. If you didn't want to trade an $800 stock, I'm going to assume it's in the 80s because it was at 800 yesterday and all the chips are up. So the idea is it should be up as well. So here is the first dip in Clover. I almost said SMAR. I had that on my brain today, so that was the thing that I thought in small cap land I would be trading, but it was already a one and done that's no good. So buying the dip in Clover, gonna give this one to about 380 in here, just slightly underneath that. I don't, like VWAP was not a thing on Clover yesterday. Like I feel like if it gets to VWAP, it's distinctly different from yesterday's trade, but it's already going again. It's just a low float, high float kind of runner. We'll see if it can do the same thing it did in yesterday's trade. No reversion trade for me on this. We talked about that. If it never actually sets up a trend reverse, why would you try to just anticipate that it's going to happen?
All right. Yeah, look, I mean, I like Clover. I actually sold some. I sold almost all of that. I thought it was around that 340 area, so not a great sell. It's all the way at 380 right now, up 9%. Goes Clover, but we're getting some more out here on NVIDIA. And again, you guys don't need to look far. We wrote it right down here. We're wrong on SMR. The 1310 was an early trade. I'm fine with whatever happened there. It was more, not holding VWAP there at 1285. We could have been able to get out of that. Well, we were able to get out of it, and we didn't. So that was a bad move by me. 122.50 though, the number one trade. We talked about that one there for NVIDIA. The 250 short on Tesla. I pulled it. Should not have. Should listen to yourself on that one. But at the same time, as long as you got one of them right there, now we are officially into it. That's a big trade. We talk about guys behind us. If you're on a prop floor or anything like that, there's your graduation right there. I mean, that's $1. If you hit it with a couple hundred shares, couple $100, put that in your pocket. There it goes. Nice move back up there to the upside. That's Neil. We talk about this all the time. That's why traders are on prop floors, to lever up. Right, to get those ideas going, use more shares than you could potentially play with by yourself, and then put them on, get going, share the profits. We do that here at Real Trading. Make sure you check it out, realtrading.com, the best prop floor and firm in the world. And I'm proving it right here. Look what we're doing every single day on the same platform that you could be on. Is happening right here. So good job there for Real trading. Okay, so out more NVIDIA. Why not? Let's do that. Let's props it up. It's $1. We talked about that. Good trade so far on that one. 1 minute to ISM data. That's Palantir as well. Wow, what a trade that was. We talked about this one breaking. These are just one-hit wonders, man. It's NVIDIA, one trade, and bang, a #1 stock. #2 stock P&L-wise, Palantir. One trade and bang. Neil, 30 seconds and we have ISM numbers.
Yeah, we got numbers in about 30 seconds. Let's get to ADRs so we can get some ISM data and happening now.
It's not just ISM. Quite a few numbers coming through here in about 30 seconds. Of course, we do have the ISM services PMI for the month of September, but we also have August factory orders. We have ISM services employment, services paid, and services new orders. And we also have core durable goods and durable goods. There's going to be revised prints here as well. So let's see, we have these coming in just a few seconds here. Of course, though, the key number going to be the ISM services PMI and those factory orders. So we are getting these numbers in. Coming through right now, just waiting to see that data. There we go. ISM services PMI 54.9, well above the forecast of 51.7. Now for factory orders, actually a little bit lower than expected, negative 0.2% versus positive 0.1% expected. ISM services employment below expectations, but ISM services prices paid and new orders both above estimates by quite a bit here. Revised numbers for the core durable goods exactly flat. So let's take a look here at the S&P 500. Bit of a topping tail candle into that previous resistance area of 568.80 before coming back to continue at this level around here. So let's see what happens here on this market. Lots to talk about as we've had so far for this October and this fall in general. Levi's pushing into high of days here. LEVI still done about 7.5% right now on the day after their earnings. They did beat for earnings per share, but they missed on sales, and they're discussing strategic review of some of its segments and brands, including Dockers. We also have here HKD, one of the many smaller cap names running today. This is AMTD Digital. This one gets a lot of social media attention, lots of retail interest in this. It was basically near high of days here, but now pulling back a little bit is HKD, guys.
HKD pulling back. I, for one, am shocked that stock has the audacity to pull back after going parabolic. How dare you, HKD? No, it is what it is. I think that stock, it's famous for what it did when it went to $2,500, and it's just a different beast here. So Clover, see, this is a 3-minute, not a 15. It was a 15 that had no red candles. That first dip in the 390, it just broke the $4 level, did a bit of a wick shimmy as well, so I got some out there, 96. If it breaks again, going to take some out highs and then the 410. In terms of levels, I didn't really go over this one on the daily chart. What is going on with that daily chart? Let's go to my trade ideas so that you guys can see the daily here. This break essentially is already blue skies on the daily, but on the weekly, you can go way back, and you have to go way back to 2021 to find any key price levels, and they're all above $5. So there really isn't much of anything till you get to about $5.60. So I think every 25 to 50 pennies is theoretical resistance on Clover Health. NVIDIA is just cruising at this point. 124.5 is the obvious spot on the, whoops, it's still Clover. 124.5 is the obvious spot on the 15-minute chart in here. It's a bit of a head and shoulders to that level. That's where I want to grab out of NVIDIA if we get to that level. We haven't really had a chance at a dip buy, and keeping eyes on AMD, because AMD is still, right now it's the 168.5. That was a monster triple top there on Advanced Micro Devices. It feels like it wants that level. Suddenly 165 looks like a good zone for a dip buy, but that's if AMD can even give you something for a dip. At this point, it's leading the charge up that 4% as we speak.
Yeah, no FOMO here with AMD because we have
another one.
And that other one would be, of course, Palantir. I mean, Palantir is, that's a great, huge trade there. And then, of course, no FOMO because, you know, when you have, this is the thing about trading, right? I mean, we talk about this all the time on the show. It's like when you have your plan and it hits, you're supposed to, that's a wrap. You know, like, so on NVIDIA, that's a wrap. We've already done what we've needed to do. It's gone up. We just got some out there at 70s. That was a huge move to the upside. So we've done really well. We'll lose on SMR, make on Palantir and NVIDIA, right? And then the Qs, we could actually maybe get back into the Qs, but there's a nice out for us. So we're pretty happy with that play coming on the TQQs. The only other thing was that we had missed, and we had talked about this. This should be a $3 winner. on Tesla because we had our order there. We're going to get filled and we pulled it, right? So we were at 75s. We would have basically had the high of the day, which is silly. We should have kept it there. But again, we talked about why. We are long everywhere, everything. So, and we're still in it, man. 55 cents on Palantir and huge. Like we put on shares here with NVIDIA. So, really happy with the way this is making some moves now. We make a little bit of money back on SMR. Let's just wait. We did buy the dips down here again, waiting for $12, letting to see if this thing can get back up. Maybe I'll put an offer, high 30s, just to take some more out here. I mean, let's make sure we win on we win. We're long here at 34. Remember, we got out of only 75% there, able to put a little bit more on. So now let's see if we can continue to go a little bit higher here. We're making everything back, baby. NVIDIA is an absolute monster. We just take some out at 123 right there. Again, man, we have it written on the sticky note. It's the #1 trade. It's highlighted here, 122.50. So I hope we're all on this together because it is a monster. Palantir is even better. Palantir's a better trade, but, NVIDIA, definitely more money there for me. Well, not by a lot, but Palantir's starting to go. So there it goes. Huge moves. Just keep the good times rolling over here. Big trades. We just should have had Tesla. So different day if we have Tesla.
Yeah, it's, 100% it's a different day to not have Tesla. Yesterday was it is what it is. First things first. NVIDIA just got to that 124. I think resistance at the 124.5. It just did a up-down move off the 124 even. So I'm jumping out of it. I never really got that reload opportunity. And now it's making another kind of parabolic leg to the upside where it leveled off last time at 123 with one dip underneath. So if it does the same thing again, this is me jumping out because within that 50-cent mark of the top, or at least in theory what I see as the top. But the reason why today stinks is it's Tesla. The focus was yesterday all Tesla 250. It was just 2 shots, and that was pretty much your entire day outside of a good Amazon long as well. So with that missed opportunity on Tesla, got to be able to regroup on this. It is trending down on Tesla while the market is breaking out to the upside. And here is the next charge. It looks like this is the next charge up, but we have lower highs on Tesla. If it keeps this pattern, there might just be a short somewhere other than that 250 level. Let's go to ADRs.
Speaking of Tesla, just be aware here, Ming-Chi Kuo, this is an analyst that is known for looking at Apple's supply chain relations, recently tweeted about NVIDIA's GPUs as well. We just had Ming-Chi Kuo tweeting and posting this article here about Tesla's robotaxi event, basically starting by comparing the reaction in Tesla stock to its Q3 deliveries, what happened with NVIDIA's earnings, saying that the numbers were good, but not as good as what investors were looking for. Also saying, too, that this rally in Tesla is mainly reflecting expectations for the robotaxi. So interesting stuff here with regards to TSLA. Just be aware here. Ming-Chi Kuo tweeting about this one, guys.
All right. Just so you guys are aware, man, let's go. Let's keep propsing it up. There's SMR, man. We stuck with it. I don't know if it's smart or not. We'll stay here and see what happens now with this name. So we got some more out. Let's just wait. Like I said, hopefully it will give us the goods at some point. But right now, SMR trying to get back up to the upside. We just took an average out there we took some out at 30s, I believe, 39s. And then another piece there at 44s or 45s. So far, so good as we wait for more pressures to hit SMR and hopefully to the upside this time. So we're not sitting in it waiting. All right, Palantir Beast continues, man. I mean, this has been a huge move. We just get some more out at the top. NVIDIA, I mean, we've taken more out. And again, we talk about this. This is why I choose to use more shares, to be honest with you. It's like when the play happens, we have the ability to get it out quickly, get it out for 50 cents, but then be able to hold something for those runners. You heard Adam on here the other day talking about his algos. You hear a lot of these traders here that it's the runners that can make your huge difference, and that is for sure, as there it goes to the downside. You can lose same way this way, man. If you hold on for too long, like on SMR there, you can get hit as well. Wait for some bottoms to develop, but so far, so good here today, man. Palantir's an absolute beast. Like, we're 70 cents in the money on a $38 stock. I'm still happy with this one, but this is $125, and we're in the money $1.50, right? We're more confident. We did the research on this one, so this is your biggest. And I mean, I already called it your play of the day even before it happened, but there it goes, NVIDIA, nice move to the upside. Have that confidence. Have the confidence to take the trades. And look back at them and be like, boom, that made my day, or that helped me do something. we're here to make money. I think that NVIDIA trade was a perfect example of one that, I know you had it, and I hope that a lot of you had it as well. So just have confidence and take the trades.
Yes, sir. And that's what it's all about. Look, we're back. Just a couple of things. I'm out of NVIDIA at that 24. It's kind of cresting off there a little bit. Clover just retook and back underneath the $4 level. So this is a 3-minute chart in here, but it's putting another test at a flat top at $4. I have my stop underneath VWAP here right now, but now all of a sudden, if you look at it this on the 15, like it's good, but it's a little more parabolic than it was yesterday, which is a little bit different. So it's not the exact same move that we saw where it was just sort of steadily climbing to the upside. I feel like because it's more parabolic, I want to treat it, at least initially, a bit differently. So I'm going to tighten the stop up to just underneath break even on Clover. If it starts going linear to the upside like it did yesterday, you can always make the adjustment. We're still early enough. It's only 10:10. You've got plenty of time for this to just start gently doing what it was doing before. So if it can start going into that phase, great. I'll just keep getting out on the way to the upside, but I want to see it hold that prior low where I was able to get in. If you look at this on the way up yesterday, never did it really threaten to break back under like a previous consolidation. So when you consolidate up here, breaking down there is the thing that it never did. So I want to respect that. Wow, AMD just continues to be an absolute rocket ship. There it goes. Yeah, I'm one of those people that, we can celebrate all we want, but I want to try to figure out why it was AMD, not NVIDIA, when I'm during lunchtime today. I didn't think it was a better setup, to be honest with you, but it seems like it's the one that wants to go. I'm looking for the next possible either consolidation or dip. On a 3-minute, you still actually haven't had red on NVIDIA, but you have now tagged that resistance at 124.5. Tesla still looks relatively weak as far as I'm concerned. And the other one that we're looking at, see Alibaba, you're now starting to confirm the level I like. When the market's trending up like this, like I can like a short, but I don't want to sit there fighting against a trend. So Alibaba's starting to confirm that underneath that 113, there might be some sellers. Big time move upside here on Alibaba, but I think you're starting to run it. It was a gap fill, so you're still down 2%. That 113 was the level for me. You're starting to see it come back under. So there's Clover. It's a gut feel on this one. I could be wrong about it. If it just trends up for the rest of the day, then I will have made a mistake jumping out of it. But based on what I just saw in that candle, I think we made the right call. Just a little bit different in the way it was moving early. Had me jump out at break even instead of holding it all the way into VWAP on Clover. Just a bit of a gut feel. It just wasn't moving visually. I don't know the best way to put it. It just didn't look like it did yesterday.
Get some more out on Palantir here. All right, so NVIDIA, whatever. We only have right now, we have about 10%, maybe a little bit less. I forget how many shares we had. We'll double check it, but about 10% or so left of this one. As we're going to try to keep that runner even for a little bit longer here. Fine. Wherever it goes now. All right, so that was what I was talking about too, is getting out of some Palantir here. Look, we broke through 20,000. We're at 20,100. So if you're going to look for a little bit of a longer look here on the NASDAQ, I mean, you need to break through, right? That's 20,150 is the 200 period here. This is just a 30-minute chart, so I haven't really charted the 200 period on it too much, but I'm just looking for key levels. So you got to stay above 20,150, which is right here, right now. So we might have just come up to some kind of resistance on the upside. So let's maybe, like I just took some out, right? So we took some out of NVIDIA. We're taking some more out of Palantir. We don't have anything else. SMR clearly has nothing to do with the market as that's falling back in a little bit here as well. So watch out for some SMR. We did take, we got another fill there too. Okay, yeah, we talked about that. We got 35s and then 45s, right? So, all right, that's what that is. Not going to reload this until we get into 12 a little bit, with our target getting out slightly underneath $12. So that was the close. You know what? I saw this other kind of random stock here, Worksport. Again, these guys here, some sort of an announcement with the government here, solar power technology. It's not moving around that much, but up 10%. And we always talk about some names that maybe have gotten beat up a little bit. Nice downside move here for WKSP. Try to look them up, but some deals now with the government. I was just looking on here on Benzinga as well. It's solar cover, something, portable energy systems here for government fleets offering clean energy solutions that reduce costs. So you're looking at a name that's already down here. Look at this low from April. I mean, we talk about solar and uranium and all these new energy plays. I think WKSP here down near this low might be worth a look. So there it is, not too much volume. So we'll keep an eye on it. This could be something else to pop. We'll find out the short float for you on that one as well. Look at this move in the futures. So it's a huge move down. What's up there?
What just happened?
That move, I have the SPY up, but also worth noting oil on watch here. INDO, Indonesian energy, pushing to the upside. We have comments here coming up from President Joe Biden with regards to what's going on in the Middle East, saying, quote, we are discussing Israel striking Iran oil facilities. So some more tensions going on here in Israel and Iran. I will keep you guys posted if there's any updates to this, but keep an eye on oil. Definitely on the move here from what I'm seeing on some of these volume scanners, guys.
Okay, yeah, so oil is probably going up.
Oh, yeah, CL just popped $1.70 in one shot. Oil futures, this is oil futures. INDO, which this is the one we popped over to because of the short float, and it's when the oil wants to play, then this one is your jam. I'm not going to make up a rhyme for it. It's already stair-step to the upside. If we continue this move, and this is any teeth to it, this is the one I will jump over to. But I want to see if we can get a chance to buy some dips in here. I just saw 123 come back in on NVDA. But yeah, Indo going, oil obviously going. I'm going to assume the defense names from a couple of days ago are going to be joining the party as well. So big time reversal there on that I guess headline. Wow, Indo's not even giving you a chance to get in here. It's just kind of breaking out and going higher and higher. This is more about finding the trend than it is about levels of resistance if we continue to see oil futures go. I wouldn't trade this blind. You should have oil futures up if you're watching Indo, by the way.
Remember that other day that we had, oh man, I was laughing before I say it. Remember the other day when we had that China story and it was like China government comes out and says no more NVIDIA chips, and then we realized it was 2:30 in the AM there. What is Joe Biden even doing up? It's 10:15. I'm not sure that that story. Thanks, Brankles. I like that one there in the back. Okay, all right, so we did take advantage of this dip down. Let's see if it works for a minute here on NVIDIA. We are coming back into the 50-period moving average now, 20,000 on the NASDAQ. So that could be a level, so we'll play it off a little bit here, see if we can get some more love down here. We just bought some 123.05s, and we'll buy a little bit more. Again, we got to believe in the trade here, so we'll buy some. There's VWAP right there, 122.50. We could get out if it breaks back down below that level and be fine, but that's what NVIDIA is doing right now, so we're going to have to wait. It's broken these levels before, and we've been able to get out. So 122.50, 122.60, but there it is, man. What a good reload there. As we just talked about buying more, this is the one thing you're going to hear from me, man. Like, I'll tell you when I'm putting in shares, buying more when we believe in that stock. So there it goes, NVIDIA. Nice move back up to the upside as it starts singing one more time. Yeah, buddy, that's a great trade right there. Props it up on NVIDIA right there. Nice pullback in NVDA as we're going. Nice upside move. So we've got SMR. Palantir is huge. It dipped down as well. And then NVIDIA. So there goes NVIDIA. Nice little 50 cent on that move back up.
Yeah, just as we were saying, like, went over to NVIDIA. I got to say, actually, I got the same price. So that 05 level came in right there. It actually dipped down into 122.65. So I'm just going to call it the Biden low or the whatever low. If we hold that level, VWAP is the thing, but then remember, that's where the liquidity came back in on that news. So I think that's going to be key going forward. JJJ is saying, is there any love for SMCI? I mean, all of it, it's adjacent. It should be going up just like everything else. So on that news, it dipped into VWAP as well. So if you're trading this, it's kind of the same look. It had already made a high. It pulls back into VWAP. It's continuing to go. 42.5 was a big level, only because I know $425 was. Our charts don't split adjust. So when you look at the daily chart, or I look at a 15, it's going to look this way. But if you just sort of go this high, that's $438. So $43.80, and it's already broken that today. So I feel like if you get back above 44, you're all systems go for another leg up. Let's go to Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Trade the Pool. Trade the Pool allows traders like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using the company's capital. No PDT rule holding you back. That's how they give a true trading edge. And here's the exciting part. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program to evaluate stock traders like you. For a one-time fee of just $97, you'll receive $20,000 in buying power. And all you got to do is reach the profit goal. The best part of this limited edition program is that they have reduced the profit goal and the minimum of trades required to reach the funded phase, and the profit split has been upgraded. So you keep 70% of the profit. You should definitely want to check it out. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description for more information. Also worth noting here, SMCI actually did have a catalyst that it was running up on earlier of its own. Having this, I said this a little bit, I think right before happening now, we did have that collaboration between that company and Fujitsu with regards to AI-powered servers. So SMCI catalyst related move earlier today, guys.
Okay, good to know, good to know.
All right, so yeah, we're buying more NVIDIA here. We're getting into that 122.50, so that's going to be a trade. We did buy some more SMR down here as well, so we'll wait to see if that comes breaking through 12. We've done well to get some money back there, but at the end of the day, man, this is not looking very healthy here. If you got a head, a couple shoulders, we'll see if it can sort of base out here again and give us that little bit of a look here at the bottom end of SMR. So not SMCI, SMR. We did take advantage of that bump up again there on Palantir, gets him out around 75. Now we'll wait to see what this name wants to do. Wouldn't be surprised if we do pull back, man. I mean, all this, this was just before, I mean, on Tuesday we were here and the same sort of thing happened there where we had Apple falling down and then we got the news about Iran with the missiles and all that kind of stuff, which was sad news for the market, obviously, and for the world. And then now today, more talk about hitting some, this is from the U.S., which you never like to hear that because the power and everything and influence. So we'll have to wait to see now what's going on there. And you indicated about USO. We can also trade, there it is. So nice move up and then a nice move down. So a little bit there. You can still try to buy some VWAP here at 74.75, maybe for USO if you did want to get something in the energy space. Bitcoin starting to run. We can.
Randy's got to be happy. I'll tell you that much because I'm willing. If this move continues, XOM, which I probably should have looked at before we looked at Indo. Oh, no, it's not there yet. XOM is 85 cents away from making an all-time high on ExxonMobil. So if you're trading this name, it's 123.75, I believe we looked at yesterday. That's going to be that big top on XOM as it's heading in higher. I did jump over to Indo. I said I should have maybe gone to one of these and looked to see if I saw a better trade. INDO, here it is. So INDO, oh, it didn't break trend just there. Oh, no, I misplaced my... Oh, yeah, it did break trend. Okay, there we go. It did break underneath the trend. I bought the first available dip on Indo. It got to the high of the day and then broke back down under the trend that we had before. The other thing we're... That time I actually got to it. Oh, my goodness. Allergies yesterday have been nuts. The other thing we just did is another reload.
Obi's cologne, maybe.
Another reload on NVIDIA. But NVIDIA is starting to trend down a little bit here after that number. Sorry, not the number, after that news hit. So we just bounced off VWAP a second time, but I got some out there on the north side of 123. I'm zooming in so you can see we're heading into VWAP. I don't want to reload until this curls up and shows some green again. Feels like we're falling a little bit heavily here. Let's go to Adara. We have a small cap recap.
Also worth noting here, too, if you're looking at Microsoft OpenAI CFO speaking right now on CNBC. So just something to note there if you are looking or involved in that name. In terms of IWM, we're seeing some lower highs here with a couple topping tails back to back here on that 15-minute chart. Bit of a bottom here at 216. So let's see what happens here for that Russell 2000. In terms of individual movers, the Riva Biologics here. This is TOVX. This one announcing some updates here from the Data and Safety Monitoring Committee review for one of its treatments, saying that they are allowed to proceed forward. So bit of a nice bullish look here for TOVX. Next up, we have Verica, VRCA. This one's actually interesting. We had a downgrade yesterday for the stock, today getting downgraded here by Needham, and announcing as of yesterday that it's restructuring its sales and operating teams with regards to one of its new treatments so that they can reduce cost and expand some access. This one looks like a bit of a bounce play from yesterday's move down, despite the fact it did get another downgrade of about 33%, 12% short flow for VRCA. And last but not least, we do have another name to talk about here. This is TIGR. This one's been running the last few days with these Chinese ADRs. Larger market cap, above $1 billion from what I'm seeing, but Great move up here for TIGR. Small cap Chinese ADRs maybe faring a bit better than their larger cap peers today, guys.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no, I was going to say NVIDIA dripped down, but we got out of that same level again.
You can see when NVIDIA broke. I'm muted up to the sneeze. NVIDIA broke down off VWAP and it's gone. But I want to make sure, someone in the chat just said, is TEL squeezable? 100% not. Tellurian has a vote today to be sold for $1. This stock might be going up now, but it's up 1 cent and it won't go any more than 2 cents to the upside. If you intend on trading this, you intend on going long and making 1 penny or going short and making 1 penny, just to get that out of the way. And anyone that it's interested in trading it. So there's NVIDIA, but it just lit grabbed underneath VWAP. Now it looks like it's coming back into the upside. Get me in. Let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. Okay, so there's your liquidity grab. There's your hold of the previous breakout price at the $122.50 level. Now you're back above VWAP. So I've jumped back into NVIDIA. This is where we got out. So this is where I would like to get back into the north side of the trade. Obviously, the reaction that took us through that 20,000 was rather swift, but a bit of a liquidity grab underneath. And now you're starting to hold back above VWAP as we speak. I'm going to get to Amazon in a quick little second, but we got back into Indo, going to hold it to the local high at 435. Amazon is doing this, and we kind of missed it on the way back through. It broke 183 on the way back on that headline, and I thought we'd get a pop to be able to short. We like this one short. Got to wait for an up move to be able to grab this on Amazon.
All right, so we actually, I know you went long a little bit higher there on NVIDIA. We actually took the 122.50 break longer again. So we actually took that and we just got them out on that move upside there. So we got some 90s, some high 80s. We got actually 90s our best level, 78s our next level, 86s. So we're long NVIDIA, but we're long a little bit lower. So we just took that same exact trade again. It's still going to be my #1 stock, but we had to reload it, so we'll have to wait to see that now. Palantir, we have less than 5% or 5% or so left on this trade, so we're getting lighter and lighter there. Just for NVIDIA, we have 50% left of this trade as well. We've already cleaned this out for 30, 40 cents. Our downside action there, 122 break low would be a big problem. You're under VWAP, you're under the 50-period moving average. NVIDIA not looking very healthy right now, but you guys know I've been trading this. This has been like my #1 name. I've probably traded, the share size obviously, but just as far as a percentage, like a lot of stock here every day on NVIDIA. So let's stay with it. I'm not going to leave a stock that we've been really profitable on. All right, so Palantir, we're looking at that. Anything else? What about the TQQs? We only took that earlier. It would have been good. It's at 20,000 right now at VWAP. I don't want to be influenced here. It's only 10:30. We only have longs on right now, and I feel like I still feel okay about the long. I mean, we got up to 20,100. That was a good little level. I think it was just maybe that early morning break there, the early range break of 20,000. That really created that bump up, and then you went 120 handles before falling again. So what about just waiting for that break one more time if it happens? We waited for NVIDIA to break again, and we got in and out of that one. So that was a good trade back forth. Maybe this is too, breaking through 20,000 there. So all right, that's all that I have is a bunch of longs, waiting to see what this market wants to do.
Yeah, it just lost 122.50 again, so I'm out of NVIDIA. I wanted it above. It just held underneath, so I'm jumping out. I'm not even in anything anymore. At this point, like I've given back a third we made on NVIDIA on that last couple of longs, and really they didn't give you as much of a bounce as I would have liked. I feel like we got to wait for reaction on these futures if they level off at that 20,000 level. So as we get a little bit of a bid, let's see what happens when we get to this 20,000 on any kind of a bounce. If we're going to trend back up, I think we've got time to be able to get into it. It is 10:30. It's generally when I want to like slow things down, maybe go back to some ideas from earlier. So Amazon, we tried it on the lower high. You can see the clear breakdown. For anyone wondering what happened in that moment, Biden making comments about more strikes in the Middle East. So that tanked everything. If you were sitting in a short, congratulations. In terms of getting a short, you probably had to chase and if you're lightning faster in algo, maybe you were able to get that move. But on the way back up, I like this one to the south side. So I'm going to short into VWAP on I almost said AMD, on Amazon. And thank you very much for the refill, Randy. I actually find coffee helps with my allergies. So
It's probably something.
caffeine is, I don't know. I have no idea if that's medically true or not, but
It probably is.
maybe it's a placebo.
Probably is as well. All right, so we're still waiting for 122 to break here on NVIDIA as it just falls back in. We're long at 122.40. We could have just got some out for flat there and did not. So maybe we'll see about a little bit of a higher rip up, man. I was waiting in the 50s to get some out of NVIDIA. Let's see, maybe we need to be a little bit ahead of that. But at the end of the day, we're long NVIDIA and we're in charge. So let's wait to see what happens now on that one. Hey, what's up, Randy? Tesla, we had the short and we ran away from it, unfortunately. Oh, no. We wrote down 250, Randy. It's right here. We wrote it down. It hits it and then drops it down in. We don't have that trade. That would have been a good short there today. As you can see, keeps on making lower highs to the downside. So we wait for that one to have happen. And then other than that, man, not much. We'll just sit back on our hands here with NVIDIA. The same thing. I mean, I just mentioned 20,000 on NASDAQ, that Neil mentioned it. So obviously that's going to be something that traders are looking at. Let's go. Here comes NVIDIA right back there up to the upside now. Let's go. We got shares on again. If this can get going, we'll be pretty happy. Let's get something out in the 50s. Let's get something out in the 70s now if we can. So just cleared out a little bit there on NVIDIA. We're underneath VWAP, but not necessarily loving the longs right now, especially with what's been happening. So let's clear something out as we go. We're still long SMR down here, though, as well, in and around $12. So that's what we're doing now. Not much, just hanging out. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. That Tesla, we definitely missed it. If there's anything else that you guys have, I know I don't really want to go long, Thomas. So I'm going to be dropping this one if it breaks 122. So we're in NVIDIA and we're fine. But yeah, I don't know. Crypto we're going to go to right now is Bitcoin 60,000 and change. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if NVIDIA is below this 122 by the time we get back. So all right, we're dancing around right now. Let's go over to the desk and find out more about crypto with Adara.
About all of it.
We'll take a look at Bitcoin in a second, but interesting story here coming actually from PayPal in this crypto-related space. PayPal actually apparently completing its first ever stablecoin-based business transaction. So basically using its stablecoin, which is PYUSD, to make a payment. This is a stablecoin that tracks the US dollar, market cap of around $700 million. So first business transaction here for PayPal's stablecoin. Fun little story in this crypto-related space. Now, in terms of Bitcoin, a little less sunny here. We are on our fifth straight day to the downside here on the daily chart after finding a pretty clear top here at 66,000. Let's see if we can hold up here at 60,000. And as Sean mentioned, we're perilously close to this level. It looks like we actually wicked below it right now here around 60.2. In terms of other crypto-related names, we have Ethereum also pretty weak here, holding on as of right now. That 2,300 level down about 4.5%. USDC slightly up, Tron slightly up, but weakness pretty much everywhere else. We've got Ripple notably down here about 10% plus, Solana down about 7%. Cardano faring slightly better here, as is Toncoin, both down about 3 and 2% respectively, but lots of weakness in the crypto space today, guys.
I forget, there was some, I almost said shitcoin, but I think that's what it is. As my physio guy was mentioning, I forget the name of it. He's like, oh, it's going to be the next hot thing. Pull it up and have a look. I'm going to ask him tonight, and then I'll get that one for you guys tomorrow. But the market is not getting back to that 20,000 level. I thought we'd get a bigger pop in Amazon just now as it was coming back into the upside. It kind of bounced, lost at 181.5. The wick bottom is down here at just underneath 181. So it's underneath 183 by a long shot. So the first consolidation, when it broke back under 40, I just jumped in, giving it to that 50 level. Whether you look at the daily chart, it's underneath that support, it's underneath that trend line that we were drawing, and then you're kind of flat bottom breaking. If crypto loses 60,000, there's a couple of things to look at. Why did I just type Rivian? Oh, goodness. Mara's got a 14.6 bottom that hasn't gone yet. So you have a bit of a flat bottom break if we lose 60,000. If we bounce off 60,000, however, this looks really decent because it put in a higher low. Did not break the lows on Mara in that move when crypto headed down to Bitcoin, I should say, headed down to 60,000. So I think that's at least a good note for it that it didn't retest that bottom. XOM still trying to break out the high. It's trending to the upside. No break of 123. No test of that all-time high at 123.75 just yet. Now things are looking a little bit more calm. I wanted to pay a little bit more patience here. See green and then try to go on the other side of the trade on NVIDIA, because I feel like it was just too early last time, and now you're getting a little bit of a trend up. I'd rather join the trend than I don't want to be fighting it here on NVIDIA. Let's see it make the trend back, and then I can jump in.
All right, we're 80 cents in the money on that exact trade, and with NVIDIA breaking through that 122, hold a little bit of it, punch more once it fails up, and then now we're 75 cents in the money on NVIDIA. So there it goes, man. Huge trade again for us here, but needs to work out. So let's just keep it going. $1 again, man. That's back-to-back jacks here on NVIDIA as it just keeps on climbing higher and higher and higher. We will give a little bit back after we close this trade. I don't even know. I'm not sure where we're going to close it. But for right now, we've probably given back about 5 or 10% from our highs. But right now, there it goes, man. It is $1 now. Plus, let's see if we can break this level right now. Get some out at 122.97. There it goes. We said where we'd be getting out if it broke 122. But there it goes. Nice move back up there to the upside. Breaks it temporarily. We punch right back in. You see we're long now at 06, putting damage on the board. It's your boy. It's NVIDIA. And it's your girl, Dara, over at the desk.
Keep an eye on Roblox here, actually continuing to kind of chop and churn with a bit of a volume spike, relatively speaking, to the upside. But this one on watch after the bear cave, releasing a pretty scathing short report here, basically saying that RBLX, because it's a platform used by children, could be facilitating some harm towards children. So this RBLX short report from the bear cave on watch here, though the stock not reacting too much as of right now, guys.
You put out a short report and the stock doesn't break the low of the day, that's probably a really good buying opportunity. Like you're supposed to, oh, that's not good. They didn't get the exit liquidity that they want. So you're getting a rounded bottom on here on NVIDIA. So I like VWAP in again, but I don't want to ignore that. Like this is the reaction to a short sell report. This little tiny wick and now holding the bottom on Roblox. The only thing missing is more volume on this. It just basically bounced off support and said, we're not going down off that news. If Roblox can squeeze it, it looks like the previous close is 43.39. The high of the day is 43.33. So you break yesterday's high or yesterday's resistance and close price in the afternoon, I think that's squeezable. You're supposed to, look, you know what the reason they put up those short reports, it's not so they can get short, it's because they already are. And it's supposed to be exit liquidity. If they're trying to wrap up that position and it breaks the high, I can only imagine that there's going to be some short covering on Roblox. But it's a bit of ways away, so we'll have to hunt for that one a little bit later. I just feel like that's going to be they're going to get screwed on that one. So we're looking for that entry back in on the other side. Look, I broke my rules getting in on the front end of that trade on NVIDIA, and now want to try to take it on the back end, which is let it make the bottom, join the trend back into the upside. And speaking of trends, Tesla's still trending down. The only other thing you can look at here, and I hesitated to do it because we like support and resistance a little bit more than I like trend lines. Like I love support and resistance. The trend line is actually quite good on Tesla. It's been holding lower highs and lower lows, no matter what the news is. I feel like if it bounces off the bottom of the trend line, let's try to respect it up on that top. Right now, that would be about $247 as Tesla continues to be. It is what it is. It's relatively weak. And the delivery numbers, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they were good or bad. I've heard people say it was a miss, but then you had analysts that called it a beat and analysts that called it a miss. So as far as I'm concerned, it was just the price action that won the day on Tesla. We should be shorting pops back into the top of that trend line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shorting pops. We had that. Palantir not doing much, SMR not doing much. Let's look for something else. Okay, so what about Meta? MSFU. That was the one that Brian was talking about here from Microsoft. And I was like, you know what, Microsoft $500 name or $400 name now. Didn't really want to trade it, but there's no volume in this name. I wanted to look at it during the day because he had mentioned it to me. It's like that NVDL, something like that. Is that what NVDL? Yeah, 1.5 times the long here for NVIDIA. So again, just not as much difference. I mean, I guess it's about 60% of the price there, down to $60 for this name. So if you're looking at NVIDIA and maybe you don't have enough capital in your account, that's not going to be a problem here. But we'll, NVDL, 1.5 times the move. So NVIDIA today, I guess, is up 4%. Is that right? Is that how much NVIDIA is up today? Or maybe 3. So maybe it's, okay, it must be a double. I thought NVDL was a 1.5, but okay. Anyways, nice. Up 3 and a bit %. So that's a nice move there for NVIDIA. We are still long that, but that's just something else that you can do it. Can we go long at day's low on Tesla? Look, I was already, because of the news, you guys know I'm a catalyst trader with support and resistance. We nailed this 250. I mean, it's right here. Wish we had still had it. We had canceled it because we thought the futures were actually going to go. And we're like, we don't want to be short it, but we do. So we learn lessons every single day here. And that is to trust yourself. And we've been doing that. And that's why NVIDIA remains the #1 stock. Maybe trusting ourselves too much with SMR. It's not moving now. All right. So I think Tesla down here is probably a buy, actually, until we break that level. So straight off the open, we had a nice move down, but then it was just followed by all buy candles. So right there off the open, someone liked the stock down here at 244, 245. When I say someone, I have no idea who it is, but it came in there and bought this stock at that bottom and ripped it all the way up $5. I cannot believe that, that short was available to us, but it was. Sometimes people say to me, not sometimes, all the time, they're like, Sean, you write down levels and then they hit, and it's like, what the heck? And so, yeah, that one, I was surprised that it came up there. I don't think you want to buy you want to buy the dip and hold out for a 244 break. So you might be coming into that spot right now, but we never want to go counter what the market's doing, and I don't think you are really necessarily right now. The market's not doing too much. It looks like it wants to fade down. This being under the 50 period and the fact that we just bounced off of there, not a great sign. So I don't know, maybe we do get that 244 and change on Tesla, and that might be a decent area there for you. Palantir making a move back up now. I'm going to take advantage of this one. Why? Because Palantir now, actually, I could double check, but this is going to be, I don't have to double check. This is the #1 stock right there, P&L wise, for the show so far today. So there goes Palantir. We'll take another piece out on the upside. The reason why NVIDIA is not #1 is it was #1 for a minute, but then we gave some back when it came back in here and actually broke that 122. So there it is right there. And then we bought it back up and all is well. But still, better trades on Palantir. It was only one trade. So I like that one. Neil's not in anything. So we'll go over to Adara at the screen.
Not a lot of strength in the sector board, though we do have to talk about the two sectors that are relatively strong, and that is, of course, going to be energy and utilities. We had a little bit of a move up in oil as President Joe Biden made some comments with regards to Israel potentially striking Iran's oil supply. So interesting look there for the oil space. Other than that, though, lots of red on this board. Sectors that are notably weak include consumer non-durables and retail trade. These sectors potentially still reeling from the port and dock workers strike, which began Tuesday at midnight. Finance also pretty weak as well. Be aware we actually have bank earnings kicking off the earnings season next Friday with JP Morgan and Wells Fargo reporting. Health technology very weak. Consumer services, consumer durables as well, with a lot of these car companies still reeling from their Q3 deliveries. Process industries and transportation weak as well. There's a little bit of strength in some areas of electronic technology. These chip names notably strong here, including NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, and Supermicro, which has its own catalyst with Fujitsu and some AI-powered servers. There's also ACN here in technology services of note. This one actually announcing an NVIDIA partnership yesterday. Other than that, these sectors a bit more mixed, but not as weak as the general market, guys.
And Amazon kind of stands out there a little bit on that general market. We're not getting back above 20,000. It's just not happening. And every time we try and hold a higher low on NVIDIA over that 122.50, it's just not holding. It just made a local bottom at the quarter. On the way back to the upside, I just took it again, and it just lost it again. So I'm out. Ooh. It is what it is, man. This feels like it's not worth fighting. And I was looking over, like, what do I like short? I liked Amazon, and Amazon didn't set up all that well. Tesla, we were looking at short and pops on Tesla. Well, I mean, where's the pop to be had on Tesla? Well, I'm not giving back yesterday. Tesla should have been the one. I'm not seeing an obvious entry here. It's probably going to break the low of the day. If it can give you a lit grab underneath the low, maybe pop back into like a 45 level, that's going to sound out pretty good. The one that's standing out to me is Rivian, because it's got like a bit of a rounded top now holding underneath VWAP. So with Tesla breaking lows, the market breaking down, this is about the only thing that's setting up. We said yesterday, actually in the afternoon show, I said if Rivian got back to the previous close prices, we'd have a look at that for a short trade. But then Tesla 250 kind of had my brain thinking only that one, and we missed it anyway. So underneath VWAP, or at least the lower highs on Rivian. We can pick on that. It's in a bit of a downward trend. We're losing bids pretty much everywhere. Should double check to see what's happening in oil.
Futures are making that low again.
Yeah, but it's not as if XOM's even breaking the high. So I kind of felt like if we're gonna go down on that news, I was expecting to be able to find XOM playing into its all-time high. Instead, XOM is just kind of chilling out here without breaking. So it might be a 123 break if we continue to bleed on XOM. If you are tracking what's going on there was a pullback in oil futures, and I think that's what's holding it up. So while the market falls, there hasn't been a subsequent spike in oil to take that back up. If it does, I think XOM takes out the high. I think it's worth watching if that can happen on CL. If we do start going back to the upside on CL, I am going to take XOM to the long side. But if oil's not moving either, there's no point punching into XOM.
We punched, again, stopped out of NVIDIA and back into it right now. Let's see if we can go higher. We're long at 122 again. Hopefully it gets meme crazy, not to the downside. It looks like there is a lot of pressure. Well, that's SMR. SMR broke 12, so unfortunately, this is going to be my easily. We talk about having the number one stock in Palantir. We'll have the number one loser as well, as we'll flush down SMR down into the basement there. So that does break. I did want to show that. I know there were some traders looking at SMR with me there. I was waiting at 15s here or 14s to get something out on the replay here for NVIDIA. Hopefully we can get a nice upside move. I'm also waiting at 20s. Just kind of stop there. I don't think it needs to, but there it goes. Another playback. Now we're green again on NVIDIA, but we're going to have to try to hold out for a little bit higher now to make back some of this money to get to where we were. I mean, you never have to chase P&L by any stretch of the imagination, but we like to see if they can do this again back there up to the upside and make sure. So our whole day is just going to be resting on SMR right now. Good level out there for Palantir. We talked about having around that 5%. Now we have way less. I'm just going to clear out of this name. If we break through VWAP, let's get out. My whole thing right now is just sitting here with NVIDIA. So if that goes, then we'll be singing, and we already are. So this is a really nice play back up now for NVDA. Let's go, man. It's got that meme-ness underneath it one more time here as it just keeps on lifting off offers until it doesn't. So we'll take another out there in the 30s, get something more out in the 40s, and there it goes, man. It's not huge. It was basically just a couple hundred shares there. We'll see if NVIDIA wants to get back up to the upside now. NVDA trying to go off 122. So let's wait and see.
Yeah, so a couple of things we're not really talking about. I'm not in anything right now. Looking for a setup on Rivian for that short, as we mentioned. Apple's about to break the low of the day. Actually, Apple is breaking the low of the day as we speak. So you haven't had a green candle on the 15 minutes since we got that news on Apple. If it can hold the low, put in some green, the good news for Apple is it's higher lows. That's about the only thing that's good about this move. So if you can hold on to this, I want to see, I got to see a curl in these levels, something that indicates that we're turning a little bit stronger than what I'm seeing here on AAPL. But it's at that low of the day and trying to hold. You're not breaking the trend yet on Rivian, so I feel as if it needs to break this trend to the downside, like in here, sort of to the upside, I should say, to want to look downside. It's close to it. One more push down, and I feel like you can break the trend, and then I would want to be short. But it's still working on an upward trend as we speak on Rivian. So it's not an obvious entry point. Right now, it is going to be Apple that might set up first. So we just opened a new 15-minute window on that one. And when you look at it on the 3-minute, it's got a wick underneath the bottom, might start to go green in here on AAPL. I still think 227 is going to be a short if we ever get there. But Apple off the lows. Now you're starting to get a bit of a curl on AAPL.
Oh boy. All right. Well, now we're actually going to be up more than we've been on NVIDIA at any given point today. So there goes NVIDIA. So like I said, man, the worst stock and the best stock right now today. NVIDIA, nicely done, cooking it back up there to the upside. We said we had a little bit of a meme bid underneath that, and now the futures go as well, confirming this huge move back up to the upside there. There goes, wow, NVIDIA, Palantir today, just absolutely huge trades. And then there goes NVIDIA even more. Let's go. I mean, if we can get anywhere, I mean, we just went bottom to top again on this name, so not top, but into the VWAP. And we'll see, last time we could not get to 122.95. So let's take out something else again here in and around those 60 levels and then go from there. So yeah, 122.80 we'll sit at to get one more fill, and then maybe we can go. Maybe the market will just go. And then we know that we have this name. So all is well over on this side with Palantir as well. well. SMR, we got out of that one. We can check out Nike has had, we're waiting at 80s, by the way. We just got it. Wow, Neil, wow. What a great move back on NVIDIA. The money just, for me, right there, nice play back there off that 122. It just kept on holding it. We did get stopped out a couple times, but bought it right back in there. Good trade there for NVIDIA today. Wow. All right, Nike, again, down today, but not by much. Could start to break upside. Honestly, Neil, you might have to take over because what we're doing here on NVIDIA, I got to attend to this one. It's a big-time trade over on this side.
Yeah, we just got into Apple, and it just got to 225 as well. So wait for that rounded bottom. Kind of give it a setup to actually strike, and when it does, right back into that prior high. I have my stop underneath here. If I'm doing this trade, it is still trending down. I usually like to give it to the prior bar closes, which is that 224.65. So the risk on this is less than 15 pennies when you're getting in on the way back to the upside. So it breaks back up, punch long, and then your risk is underneath 15 cents. I like that setup because then you're essentially looking for something where you don't have to hold it all the way into the low of the day. Looking at VWAP for that setup to go higher. If we get higher lows, I do like it as well. The only problem with this is, remember 20,000 on the NASDAQ? Well, we just wicked 20,000 on the NASDAQ and right back underneath. So we made the move to the upside, and the level that we're concerned about is exactly where the futures are starting to turn. So I don't want to be adding to longs unless you are holding back above the prior resistance on the futures. If that happens, I think it's kind of all systems go to maybe add back into the longs, play in some higher lows if we're able to. Elizabeth Warren is... So U.S. Steel, something about Elizabeth Warren, but I missed the rest of that story. It's not moving just yet, but on the off chance that she says something that's remotely positive, I'm going to have the eyes on this one in case it does start to break up. But I heard some U.S. Steel. My mind was like, ooh, are they going to do that deal? Not moving as we speak. Let's go to Adara. It's already 10:50. Time for Money Talks.
We have here the DXY, which is now on a 4-day winning streak, 4 very strong green candles, and it's also cleared that previous double top resistance that we couldn't eclipse yesterday around 101.75. So not at all a bad look here for the U.S. dollar. Slightly larger than expected initial jobless claims print earlier today, 225,000 jobs versus the estimate of 221,000 jobs. We also had here lower than expected S&P services and composite PMI prints, and lower than expected factory orders on a month-over-month basis. So the ISM services PMI print of 54.9 was well above the estimate here of 51.7. So a bit of a mixed picture when it comes to data today. In terms of other numbers on watch, none to speak of, but we do have comments from Fed's Bostic and Kashkari. They were supposed to have begun 10 minutes ago. I'll let you guys know if I'm seeing anything on the wire with regards to what they are saying here. Now, in terms of economic data for the rest of the week, we have non-farm payrolls coming out tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Definitely those will be on watch. And also here in the world of currency, I do have the British pound to the USDs. You can see this one on a 3-day downtrend, including a sharp move down today. This started after the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey said that the bank could, quote, be more activist in terms of cutting interest rates, saying that they're looking to cut a little bit faster than previously expected. So the great British pound moving to the downside on that news, guys.
The great British pound. It is so great. And you do need
the great British pound.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can convert some of these. Shout out to Adam. He's leaving, I think, tomorrow. We can see if we can grab a beer with him after market a little bit. I've got hockey and chess, so it'll be a quick one right there. But the money's just pouring in right now on NVDA. So great little segment there. But everyone's favorite segment is right now. All right, what is for lunch? Today it's actually a pretty good one again, I think. I think this should be good. Neil will probably like this one. It is authentic
100%.
Tex-Mex fajita bar day with assorted condiments and tortilla with Mexican rice and beans. So there we go. A little bit of Mexico for your life and a little bit of NVIDIA right now as we are once again $1 in the money on NVIDIA on big boy shares. So we are happy with this move there today. Oh boy, NVIDIA. Make them sing, baby. Nice move to the upside right there. We are sort of on cloud 9 here today with some of this trading. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're here every day besides yesterday. I should have let you guys know that. I'm surprised. I forgot myself that I had yesterday off, but it was really, really fun. We did go. You might have saw on Twitter there. My daughter, she is quite the athlete, and she had another great run yesterday, so we're really proud of her around these spots. Palantir, 38.85 right now, and still going upside, but we already still have 1/3 left. We talked about letting, not of Palantir, of NVIDIA, we talked about letting our winners ride, and that's exactly what we did, man. We rode real good right now with NVIDIA. Just look at this. This was a huge trade right off the jump. That was the biggest and best trade. But then obviously lost its way coming back in there. We were able to get out, buy more, buy more. We did get stopped out here. There is an out there, but we just bought it right back once it broke higher again. You know, sometimes I don't do the best of following my own rules. I get caught up in like it breaking even dollar levels, but there goes NVIDIA, huge move back up to the upside. Caps off to anybody that has this. Good trade there for NVIDIA. Yeah, we'll go out for our walk soon and enjoy that. But the weather's nice right here. And you think I need one?
A little cold.
Oh, the people need one. Yeah, they maybe. Yeah, I give the people what they want. Hopefully you guys want some bangers today as we ride that bull and keep it going, man. So here, on to Sharif, on to the rest of you. It's props it up right there for a big day on NVDA.
There you go. Love it on NVDA. For me, I don't want to fight, so I got out of that bad boy. And I'm not going to fight Apple either. So we got the low, the hold of the low. Now we have a trend. It's pretty clean on Apple. You can see once it broke VWAP, lower high, it's putting in the same lower high. So at this point, if it doesn't hold 225 out, if it breaks it, play into VWAP, and then look longs off that trend. Like, I'm not going to get rid of this trend line. If we break out the top, hold 20,000, then I want to look longs on the other side of the trend. The other thing it's starting to go, I know we mentioned that short seller report on Roblox. That's what it was. And we remember that name. So it's trying to go off the bottom. I want to see this one also break trend on volume. And again, it's just more of it's just a hunch that if it starts to go, it should continue to go, as short sellers usually want to be able to get out on that kind of news. It hasn't broken. There's really not a lot of volume, but I am eyeballing this. If we get a big volume spike and we hold above this downward trend on Roblox, I think that's the kind of thing that can have it go squeezing, especially if the market wants to help it along. So that's the plan of action on Apple. I didn't want to jump back over to Tesla. Obviously, Tesla was a bit of a miss. It might have made a bit of a bottom itself on Tesla here. So since VWAP, this is kind of, there's your high in VWAP, there's your high underneath, and now it's breaking above a similar trend line on Apple. If it holds and consolidates above 245, I think this one has a pretty decent chance to go on its own. I don't think it's out of the waters just yet, but if the party is going to be to the upside, you would look for places possibly for Tesla to have caught some kind of a bottom. It needs to hold, to me, it needs to hold on to this trend reversal. If it can't, it's right back to looking to some shorts on TSLA. For now, I'm kind of looking for a retake of the 245. If it jumps back over 45, punch long, out underneath here, about 50 to 60 cents worth of risk, which I think has some room into VWAP if it gives that break back above 45. So I'm going to use the trend lines to my advantage here on TSLA. Roblox is a maybe kind of trade based on that short seller report. I don't know if it's actually going to give us that setup for the breakout.
We're not doing too much here. We just got another piece out of NVIDIA. Oh, my chart just says edit chart. Okay, what about Intel? Another name that we haven't looked at today. Intel, again, with the market being pretty flat on the day, Intel's red. So again, I just wonder if everything. It's fast talking. 24 to the downside. Just watch out for Intel here. The 50-period moving average downside looks like it wants to break here. Look at the 20-minute chart, right? Just riding it down. That was the better short. I mean, the Tesla was the great short, but at the end of the day, Intel also absolutely fantastic if you're able to get that short. That's, you know what, guys? Join Joe and Sharif. They're going to be talking more about options. Today's like a basic introduction, I believe, Joe, into options. So that's going to be coming through. Join Joe and Sharif very, very soon. They're going to both be in the chat. There'll be a little Q&A action. I like how Sharif acts when this goes on because it's like kind of like Joe's the teacher. Sharif asks the questions. They go back and forth. So Sharif will also be checking out the chat for your questions and then going back. So I think that that's been a really great format that's worked out for us. So congratulations to Sharif, Satya, and Joe for the new format there of the midday show. We really, really like it. So
Got to remember, It's Satea's birthday today. Happy birthday, Satea.
Yeah, happy birthday, Satea. I'd have to know that to remember it. So
yesterday. Yesterday you weren't here, obviously, so
right,
it's all good. Yeah.
All right. So happy birthday, Satea. That is really nice to hear. And happy first date day to my wife. So right there, big day here today, October the 3rd. So happy birthday to Satea. I'm sure she's in the back there crushing something. So hopefully we'll be able to see her at some point today. All right, so that's it, man. Only 2 minutes left. Thank you so much. It's been a showstopper of a day, man. I mean, this NVIDIA trade, the #1 trade given to you by Trader TV Live today, 122.50 long, was a banger, still is a banger, is the #1 P&L stock. #2 P&L stock is Palantir. Worst stock by far is SMR, but that's what happens on the day. We're here with energy. We're here with trade ideas. And see, this is SMR, horrible. We got a little bit back there, but then eventually it left it high and dry, man. Nice pullback there for SMR. If you like the name, maybe buy something on a pullback. Again, reason why we talk about this name, some nuclear energy in talk again, as both Microsoft and Google look to power Sharif's favorite AI, ChatGPT. No. You thought I was going to go.
Baby.
You thought I was going to hate on you.
Gemini,
No. He likes. I think Chat. Or have you chosen? You were looking to do
Gemini,
Grok.
baby.
Have you done that yet? Okay, so no Grok as of yet. Right now, but ChatGPT still rules the roost around here. All right, man, only a minute left, Neil. Kill him with kindness.
So there goes Apple. We said we're not going to give it to our original stop because it did not hold the trend to the upside. There it is. It just broke down. So we're out of Apple. Just about break even on the last portion of the trade. The market is absolutely bleeding. That's probably going to set up. I mean, Rivian's not actually moving very much. I feel like this should be catching up there. You mentioned Intel. That could be a little something. Kind of curious as to why Rivian is not moving with the market. Intel just made a rather hefty move, breaking some lows. So that's breaking support here. 22.25. I mean, I could zoom back and show you guys that 22.25 has been a big level, but you can see there on the, there it is. $22.25 is a level on Intel. It just broke it now. So if Rivian's not going to do anything, then I'll look for Intel to do something. Never got to the 23. That was obviously the best place to have shorted it yesterday, but yesterday is yesterday, and today is a new
today.
day. Oh, it's true. Like you can wait all you want for 23 to come again on Intel. You ain't gonna get that trade. Just like you're not gonna see 250 again on TSLA. But I'm excited. It's been a great and awesome transition into the midday. Like Sean was saying, absolutely doing an amazing job, both Satea and Joseph. But it is that time. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. Intel's probably going to head lower, but you guys are about to be more excited for some options and some trading. I don't know if Therese been in some of the small caps that have been going, but there have been a few. So congrats to anyone that's been any of those runners.
We're like the big cap show. They're like the small cap show.
Well, I mean, I know that's what he looks at. I guess that's what he's in. So I hope there's been some runners for you, because sometimes when the market goes down, the small cappers can go up. Sharif, Joseph, go get them.
Yes. What is up?